All right. So I thought about how to go about this, and I thought about the best way was just to ask you as a client, what
Yeah.
are some skills you've learned with me? How do you feel about that?
I think the most important one that I've learned isn't really the aim training itself. It's more about analyzing my own aim, if you know what I mean. And like
Okay.
you have a deeper understanding of aim. That way you don't even need a coach after a while. You start being able to analyze. Maybe not as good as you, but you can notice like what's wrong with your aim, what needs improving and stuff like that.
Yeah. So Will said it's a little quiet. Can you hear him better? Because I raised his volume. So
I'm
basically,
far away from my mic. Is my audio good?
I think it's your. I think it's just it's good now. Okay, yeah, it was on. It was on my end. I'm
Okay.
pretty sure.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, what you said is that you learned, you got knowledge. So more you valued, because a lot of people are different, right? Like you valued the knowledge that I provided as a coach rather than the playlists.
Oh no no, the playlists are also quite fucking good. I think personally, for me, the playlists are better at highlighting what I'm bad at because usually I can't spot it very well. But let's say I notice I'm bad at certain things. I don't know why when like I play a couple of your playlists, the ones that are like custom made, I like start to notice how like what's going wrong exactly. Like could be something I'm doing, could be a habit that I've never noticed, and then I like pick up on what I'm doing wrong better, and like you kind of are able to fix it more, like more efficiently, you can say.
Okay, okay, I got you. So you're able to steer yourself sort of in the right direction and sort of understand why I chose certain scenarios and structure and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I even don't know if you mean to do it, but every time you've given me like custom playlists, I somehow like always notice something very like hard to spot normally, but like the scenario highlights it very well. You know what I mean? The scenarios you
Yeah,
pick.
yeah. So I'm just gonna
For
say
real,
this.
4BK best coach. Get 4BK coaching.
Just gonna add that. I'm just gonna not. Oh, you say sponsor yourself? No, that's the wrong word. Market yourself. So,
No, no, I'm marketing you, brother.
oops. Wait, I think I fucked up again.
Oh
Sorry,
no,
chat.
not when
Are
I'm
you okay?
sponsoring you, man.
Wait, I fucked up.
Oh shit.
Wait, boom, boom. I did it. I saved it again. Easy.
Okay, okay, good. Yeah, so I was
Yeah.
just telling the guys who didn't hear, go get Voltaire coaching. It's the best thing you can do.
You're a fucking beast. That's funny. Okay. So, have you had any other coaches?
No,
No other coach. Okay. Because some people
nah.
will come to me and they'll have like other coaches, right? And they'll have like these horror stories where like, oh, he just told me to change sensitivity, or he just told me he gave me some default, Kovacs playlist or some
Yeah,
shit
thing
like
is, I'm
this.
hard to scam, man. That's the thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I think most people are these days because it's sort of being more exposed to, but it's a good thing, but also a bad thing. You know
Well,
what I
if people were harder to scam, no one would pay these fucking prices in Voltaic, man.
mean? Okay,
Holy
that's true.
shit.
Doubles with the 2CA. I'm not sure what that is, 2CA, but he says, who else is gooning right now? Actually, me and Nader are both gooning together. That's how we're like keeping the energy so high, you know? So you're welcome to goon with us.
I follow Jesus Christ. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not
Okay,
involved.
Bayzed. I can only speak for myself then.
No, no, you follow Jesus Christ too. I know, I know.
Okay, that's true, that's true. We both, okay, it's just you then, double. It's just you. We repented. So moving on to from the aim coaching part, which by the way, after this releases on Saturday, it will be closed within a couple of days. So if you want to sign up and do it in the Discord. But enough about the coaching. Let's talk about actual aim questions. And I have a lot of shit planned.
Okay.
So you ready to talk? You ready to answer?
I'm excited. I've researched this stuff a lot.
Okay. Yeah, because I know you've done some. You haven't told me what it is yet, but you've done something in the background, right? Some motion.
Yeah. It's crazy shit. But
crazy
revolutionary. Shit. Yeah.
Revolutionary. God damn.
Yeah.
Okay, but the first question, because this is highly debated and it's very, very. Some people think like this and some people don't think like this. Do you think genetics play a role in your aim training growth?
Oh, for sure. Look, the way I say it is genetics isn't like the end all be all, but it certainly makes it easier and for some people to aim. And like the way I would say it is it also limits some people's potentials. Like, but you can still get pretty good if you aim train. Like, you won't be, if you aim train and actually dedicate yourself to something and give it its time, no matter how, like, let's say you have less good genetics for aim training, you won't, like, maybe you won't be as good as someone who has better genetics, but at the same time, you won't be shit. Like, you'll still, imagine you're aim training for a FPS game, you'll still be able to kill someone, like, in the game, like, who's better genetics and aim training and stuff. Like, there's a lot that goes to it. It's just like anything else in life, like some technique or some combination of things along with having decent aim will which is achievable no matter your genetics. Yeah, it's just better. But like genetics usually, like, let's say reaction time, how good your eyes are, like some people can spot targets like very much faster than others. That gives them a lot like a lot more time to process and calculate. Like, what really aiming is, is just hand-eye coordination, and like subconsciously they calculate, let's say, where to flick and stuff like that.
But do you think, sorry, go ahead.
No. What are you trying to ask? Give me.
Do you think, because I'm debating this with somebody as well, and do you think there's a cap? Like, do you think, let's say, because your point is sort of like some people learn quicker, which is completely true, and just some people don't even need aim training, right? They could just, somebody like Shroud, they could just go in, play like World of Warcraft, and somehow they're still like insane at games. Where I'm sure you've felt this, but if you stop aim training for one day and then you pick up a game, you'll be shit. You're the worst player ever. And I think that's somewhat genetics, how quickly, as you said, like you can adapt, you can learn stuff and everything like this. But do you think there's some sort of, not necessarily score, but let's say let's take benches. Yeah, there's a ceiling.
Yeah.
I could never reach the highest rank in this. Right? Or do you think everybody can reach that rank?
Well, thing is, if you're like the average player, what I mean by less, like, so it's more clear, like less good genetics would mean like what? Some people naturally, because of their hand shape and like arm shape, like if you don't have an average looking arm, like for example, me, I don't have like a normal forearm. Like mine is very less stable because it's a lot thicker in the back. Like these are just pure physics stuff. Like you're gonna, of course, have less stability and stuff, but at the same time, that never kind of like stopped me if you give it enough time. At first, you're gonna struggle a lot more, but unless you have like some very specific condition that makes it almost impossible to aim, yeah, then you will have a ceiling. But in reality, you don't really have like that different of a ceiling. You're still able to make like, no matter how, let's say, bad you got it, you're still able to, if you give it time, you're still able to make like the top 0.2% of aiming at least.
Yeah.
If you give it enough time and proper coaching.
I think like what you say is very true. I think that at some point, I think It's more about time put in, because let's say you have a guy who has horrible genetics, let's say hypothetically, and that affects his aim. Again, all hypothetically. I think he needs to put in so much time, let's say 10,000 hours to reach, let's say, the highest rank in Voltaic, compared to somebody who maybe needs to put in 1,000 hours. So then it really becomes a time question, because who is going to put in 2,000 hours, or sorry, 20,000 hours, 10,000 hours into aim training? So it's not also not super realistic, but maybe it's possible, but not like super realistic. Also, yes, I read the chat. I just am focusing on the talk. But one thing, and this is very, very important, interesting actually, which I've learned from coaching, is people who have less hours but are more naturally skilled, they usually have two things in common, and that's that they have better natural speed, which is, it's, let's say it's their first 100 hours aim training, and they're really fast. Some people, I'll see their VODs and they're really slow and they're taking their time. There's nothing wrong with that, but usually it's a natural speed. And secondly, they have really good reactive. Like if you naturally have really good reactivity, since it's sort of like mixed into all aim, being able to like micro could be counted as reactive, right? Not like the tracking reactive, but those two things I've seen are very, very it shows me that, like, yeah, this guy is going to grow and he's going to grow really easily. And that way I can adapt his plan to be like, include harder stuff earlier on.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
I've noticed that, like to some degree, like with some people, like, I've seen some people who are like helped a bit with their aim, just friends, you can say. And, mostly like, you can say the people I notice with like good reactive are like pretty much improved a lot. Like within a month, they became very good. You wouldn't tell they've been aim training for a month.
Yeah, like some people, they could just pick up a mouse, and they'll have like a Razer Naga with a 60 hertz screen or something, and they'll just destroy you. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that sure is genetics, but at the same time, like as in everything, like that's, you can say, talent. Talent can take you pretty far. Hard work can pretty much take you to that same level, but it's just no one really like ever puts in, especially in something like this, which isn't considered like mainstream sport or something. Like people will not. But also, I think something that affects other than genetics, playing at an early age. I noticed like everyone who played at an earlier age in their life, their body and brain is just like more wired to be able to do stuff better.
Yeah. It's always the CS players. Have you noticed that?
Yeah, CS or any really, dude, the most insane aimers, I think not CS, like by nature. People who played shit like that needs a lot of tracking and flicking over big areas. I think these people are just fucking crazy. Especially now, the generation now, these kids.
Yeah, he'd be like 15 and he'll be like better than anyone you've ever seen, you know?
Yeah,
I've noticed like Quake is a big one. Like Quake and CSGO are like, you see a Quake player aim and they could just pick up any game and destroy you with thousands of hours.
Yeah, because I think it's what that game requires to be able to play well at a competitive level, at least, like, is very much higher than what something like CS requires. CS is just mostly horizontal aiming, mostly crosshair placement. You just do some micro adjustments most of the time, and it's occasional you get to do a big flick. But in other games, like, you're mixing all the tracking, dynamic and a lot of other stuff, and you kind of basically are doing everything. So that, like, imagine you're doing almost a full playlist by while playing the game almost.
Yeah. That's a good point, because in Quake, if people haven't played it, you get dropped into a server, right? And you have to find and pick up weapons, sort of like a battle royale, but not really. But you have to go around the map to find the set spawns of weapons. So let's say you just have a railgun. then that's all really you'll have to shoot with, and you have to get better with that, and you don't really have a choice. Whereas in like COD or something, I don't know, Apex, you often have similar styles of gun. Like, yeah, you can sometimes have a wingman or something, but usually you have some sort of full automatic gun.
Yeah.
Also, I can hear myself a little bit in the background when I'm talking.
I don't know how to fix that. Let me try. Maybe if I turn on noise suppression. Let's see.
So one thing, moving on
Do you
from
still
the
hear yourself?
genetics, uh, I'll see when I'm talking. I can't hear myself now. No.
Okay, that's good.
One thing that I've seen a lot is that different people learn from different things. So the whole adapt feature is really, really good because it rewards somebody who plays good. So let's say I can still hear myself. Fuck. But I'll keep talking.
Oh,
So let's say somebody has doesn't learn from punishments. Let's say Bard Pill scenario is a very punishing scenario. If you miss, it like restarts the scenario, right? Some people don't learn from that punishment, and they learn from reward of motivating themselves and their brain. And that's why I think like the adapt feature is super, super helpful for a lot of people. You don't hear me echo on stream. Okay, that's good. Do you think scores matter? Well, we'll definitely talk about that. That's coming in the future. I have a whole list because it's sort of in depth, right? It's pretty in depth, but I'll get to
it's
that.
structured. Yeah.
Yeah, but there was something I was gonna say, but I forgot. What have you tried the adapt feature? What do you think about it?
Oh, yeah. I think it's a very good idea. Just purely off the thing that is, let's say you're playing any adapt scenario. Usually, the speed of the thing you're shooting and the size change according to how you play. Like, let's say the scenario is becoming too easy for you, it's not challenging, then it just automatically switches to become more challenging. And I believe like the scenario being challenging is the biggest part, like of
Yeah,
you learning. Like it's always gonna teach you something. Like
yeah,
it's gonna tell you, well, okay, let's go at this speed, at this size. Okay, you did good. Maybe I'll switch up the speed a bit. I'll get the target smaller. Let's see how fast you can track while still being precise. Let's say,
yeah,
like it just makes things a lot more efficient. The aim training. You don't have to
mm,
play a lot of scenarios. You can just do maybe half of what you usually do, because it will, when you get good enough at a certain point in it, it will just automatically take you to the next step in the same like round you're going with.
yeah, yeah. Will asks, "What's the adapt feature?" And if you don't know, adapt feature is the new thing Kovacs implemented. Essentially, it's exactly what Nader is talking about, but to put it to short, it is essentially making the scenario harder the more you do good. So if you hit the bot a lot in a tracking scenario, for example, the bot will go slower and become faster, challenging you more. So it's adapting to your difficulty and your skill level pretty much. And it's really, really good. If you search on Kovacs, adapt, a bunch of them have come up, and I think I've made a lot, and some people from the community have made a lot of them. So they're
The
really,
one
really
I'd
good.
recommend the most, find the one called 4BK React Adapt. Yeah, I think something like that. What was the scenario called? The one I like. This
It
one
was
is fucking insane.
React to Flick or Reactive Flick or
Yeah,
something like that. I think it's in my STS benchmark as well, if I remember correctly.
this one is the most insane scenarios. Use it especially when you wanna like warm up for a game. Maybe do like a 10-minute run of the just repeating this scenario. I promise you will play a lot better.
True,
Like you will
true.
perform very good.
Yeah. So I thought about the biggest thing that's like bothering every single person who plays aim trainers, right? And this is the biggest thing I want to talk about, and I have a bunch of things written down. And I was thinking we're going about it just in a structured way, but the question essentially is, why don't I see benefit in game when I'm putting in hours into aim training every day? And the first point I want to make is the simplest one, but it's the most one that will affect the most amount of people. Because if you go into YouTube now, you'll be told that you have good aim, but you're missing crosshair placement, or you have good aim because you do scores in Kovacs, or you're missing game sense or something like that. But the way I think about it is that most people have that stuff already figured out by now, and you're losing an aim duel because you lost the aim duel, not because of games. Obviously, there's times where game sense affects you and stuff like that, but I like to focus number one on the aim part. And the thing that I've seen for so many people is beginners really, really, really need to get the fundamentals down. Like, even if you're not seeing necessarily, let's say you take a week off, seeing like, I don't want to see results in game. I just want to focus on building my fundamentals, not even for my specific game. And then that's sort of future proofing your aim. And then you can hit sort of the more advanced stuff. And some people, notably on this, when they're beginners, they need to put in, not need, but it's recommended that a beginner puts in like roughly an hour of aim training every day. And fatigue can then matter to some people, which is why like intermediate and advanced people, which they have a little bit more skill and they have that foundation, they can then start doing 15, 20, 30 minutes and they'll feel way better in game. So if you're struggling with that, if you're struggling with 1 hour and you know you're doing the right stuff, try slowing down your gameplay in Kovacs. What do you think about that, Nader?
Well, okay. If I had to say, I think it's mostly because people are expecting way too much when they're still like practicing fundamentals. Like, first of all,
Yes.
people see someone who's just genetically talented, like just genetic freak of fucking nature, and they see them do grid shot or let's say play 6-shot only, like once in a while, and somehow they are one-tapping everyone and shit. And they think that will help them. But in reality, if you're the average player, you're first, most of the time, just practicing the fundamentals. And even then, you're not good because in a game, you're not just relying on fundamentals. It's how you react to information. You're not playing like, for example, if you play one wall, 6 targets, yeah, you will learn a lot, but that won't necessarily make you win aim fights because, yes, your fundamentals are good, but in a game, it's like you're practicing, you're doing a one wall reactive, like a one wall, one target reactive kind of scenario, which especially depending on the game, the time to kill is a lot less. It's how you react to that information, and under much more pressure, like you have a lot less time to kill the target. That is really what it comes down to. And let's say you're in the stage of still learning the fundamentals, you're not gonna be like, unless after you play the fundamentals and become good at it, you may build the good habits, and then you play like these scenarios, you practice the reactive kind of scenarios, then maybe like it would be something is wrong. Then like something would be wrong for you not to be able to get the kills or like win most of your aim duels in a game. But like if you're still just practicing fundamentals, yeah, you shouldn't expect too much of yourself, because in reality, you're just, yeah, like you know how to flick properly now, but how fast can you flick and how fast can you react to information and be still accurate? Like you have to be fast and precise at the same time. One wall, 6 targets or any other scenario that isn't reactive isn't really, it's about precision. You can still be fast, or you will notice yourself get faster, but you're not necessarily at the like there's a certain point where that speed, like how do I explain it, like there's like a certain number, like time to kill that you are required to hit so that you can see it in game, like while still being as precise as you are when you're going slow. Like you have to be like that for you to win the duels.
because a lot of people, they'll go into, let's say, 116 targets, exactly the point you brought up, and they'll be hitting the targets and then they'll be missing in game. And it's sort of like exactly how you said, the speed requirement in game is a lot more brutal. And you have to think about it sort of in a way that, let's say I overflick in 116 targets, okay? But I still hit the target, but I overflick. That would mean that I'm going to overflick also most likely in game. So, and in game, you'll mostly just rely on that initial flick. So
Yeah.
yeah, your micros will get better, but it's the competition is so much harder in game. So that when you hit a ball in Kovacs, and let's say it takes you 600 milliseconds, in game it's going to be like 200 milliseconds or you're dead. So and by also missing a bullet, you're also essentially killing yourself in game, of course. That came out wrong, but you're essentially like not helping yourself when you miss a shot in static, because then that would mean that you will miss the same shot, or not really, but like in theory you would miss like those shots also in game, because a lot of people don't push themselves. And this is something I want to get at, because a lot of beginners will come in and they'll take a super careful approach, which is completely fair, but they're not really pushing themselves, they're not learning to aim, and they're not focusing on their bad habits and stuff like that. They're not really thugging it out, because it takes time and you're just improving like 0.01% a day. That's how little you're improving in aim training, when most people think about it like they're taking steroids and then they're going to the gym and they think they're going to be huge. But aim training isn't like that. It's just like anything else. It's like training with low testosterone, not with steroids. And you have to have very realistic expectations and realize that, okay, I'm in this for the long term, not just how I feel today. And I think that's actually massive. So Willikers takes up a really, really good point. And he says, I really, really hate how on YouTube, 99% of tutorials don't have the balls to tell you that their aim really does matter. They always want to say it's something else when it's not true. Exactly. Like, that's why I made my channel. And that's why I go really in depth in some things, because I'm tired of being told, just get good crosshair placement, just play more deathmatch or something like that, when I actually want to break things down and see like, okay, what is specifically going on wrong here? So anyone who tells you that if you get good Kovacs scores, it's your crosshair placement or something like that, that's just, I think that's raw bullshit. You have to figure out which part of your aim are you missing? Is it that you're too slow? Is it that you're overflicking? Because it's a common one. Are you not microing at all? And stuff like that. Because a lot of people will tell me like, I'm doing great in deathmatch, but I do horrible in competitive. And it's not your aim, it's actually the competition's aim that has gotten better. So that means that you now also have to get better. And that's a big one, because people will do really good one game, and that's usually when they have faced people with lower elo, and then the next game they'll be ass and they'll say, I'm inconsistent. No, the enemy's movement, usually good players have good movement, and usually they're faster than you. So you have to sort of take that on the chin and say, okay, I actually do need to get faster, but I can't just hit the advanced stuff right now. I actually have to build the fundamentals, because I suck. You have to get into the habit of realizing that 99% of the people who are listening to this podcast are going to suck, and you need fundamentals. That's like the raw deal. And put hours into it, put a month, put 2 months just into fundamentals and actually getting your ground, your base, because you can't just jump into the advanced stuff, right? What do you say, Nader?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. It's just it's actually when you start to understand aiming at a fundamental level, you will know that this is like literally common sense. Like there is no one-way magic trick, or like you learn crosshair placement or you learn something and somehow you're gonna get better overnight. Sure, that matters a lot, like at higher levels, but I think for the lower level players, it's the most important skill, especially if you're considering playing multiple games, you should focus on is aiming, because it transitions between every game you're gonna play.
Exactly.
If you have good aim and an aim trainer, and like of course, let's say your active is good, because as we said, this is very important, then you will be good no matter what. And more importantly, something for the beginners to notice is don't expect, like, don't think you're inconsistent because one game you play good, like, other than the point that the competition is better, sometimes you'll just be in the zone, you're gonna hit your
Yeah.
shots so good, your focus isn't improving when you're on your aim game, it's mostly upping your B game when you're on your average day, your normal day. That's when you measure how good you are, not when you're
Exactly.
like in the zone and hitting every one tap. That's what you're
Yeah.
trying to improve, the B game.
Yeah, exactly. I made like a short about this, and what I said in that short, this was a while back, so I don't know if anybody remembers, is that like aim training isn't like pushing your entire aim up. It's actually pushing your peak aim, that you perform your best, and your worst aim, the how you perform at your worst. It's both pushing both of them up, so your median aim gets better, and not necessarily that you play grid shot and then you're gonna hit every single shot. Because a lot of people, especially beginners, they start aim training with bad habits, and that takes time to fix. And that's why fundamentals are really important to start with, because the less bad habits you have and the more you fix those bad habits, the more effective, the more advanced stuff when it's time for that is going to be, and the faster you can progress in the future. So like if you're sort of below that 200-hour mark, just spam those fundamentals, get to working. Even if you play Valorant, play something that's completely unrelated to Valorant, play close fast strafes or something like that, because it's going to build up your overall ability to aim, because everything sort of goes together. Like when you go to kill somebody in Valorant, it's not like static, it's actually a combination of your movement, how he's moving, your dynamic, your tracking, your ability to like realize his information and my information, and all this stuff everything goes together is what I'm trying to say. And it's not just I click ball, meaning I click balls in game as well.
Yeah.
So let's see. His mic is a bit loud compared to yours. So, okay. Wait. I raised it a little bit. I think that should be better. I'll lower it. Hit him a little bit. So.
Yeah, my balls are bigger too.
Okay, buddy. Well, I was going to say something dirty, but I'm not going to. I have to remind myself.
Yeah, you're gonna
on
embarrass
stream.
us on stream, man. We're both God-loving people.
Whip out your balls right now.
Let's go ball for ball.
Ball for ball. Okay, so somebody asked, how do we work to get faster? What scenarios are the best? I think you're thinking about it the wrong way, Matthew. You're thinking about it again in this way that I want to play this type of scenario and I want to get better at speed. You have to think about it like this. What weakness am I missing right now that's preventing me from going fast? Because let's say that's overflicking, for example. Then you have to work on that overflicking to be able to effectively hit that speed. So I can tell you low TTK target switching is really good for speed. Ball sheet mini is really good for speed, for example. But that might not translate into game because you haven't worked on your weaknesses to be able to then hit the things that you need. Right?
It's not just that, I think there's something that I think people look at it as if it's some different kind of skill aiming. Dude, just look at it like boxing or anything else. Let's say you want to have a fast jab, like a jab that isn't telegraphed and fast. Let's say you're just trying to achieve that. You usually just don't just have a fast jab because you can have like the speed. You're not going to improve your hand speed that much. That's genetics. But the technique to not telegraph is something difficult to learn. So what you do is you practice. So by default, your hand moves the right way. And the same here applies. Like if you're aim training and you build the habit of flicking a certain way, then you won't have to focus, okay, I have to make a clean line. I have to do this. You start by default when you flick. The only thing you have to focus on isn't your form or your technique while flicking. You just have to focus on landing on the target or close to it so you can just micro. That's the difference, really, when learning fundamentals.
I said this in one of the the first videos I ever made. And I said it that Kovacs is more of a habit builder than an aim trainer. And I think that's very true, especially as you go into more the intermediate, advanced level, when the sort of skill gain becomes less and less, because at the beginners you could really explode, right? But I think
Yeah.
it's a difference between like figuring out what's right for you. So some people really need variety. Like you could give them 25 different scenarios that they just play one time and then they're good. They're really good. But some people, they need to play one scenario 10 times, 5 times, 3 times. And you as a person, this is on you to figure out which one works for me. And this is why trial and error is so important, because you don't know until you try.
Yeah, experimentation. That's
Experimentation,
probably
yeah.
the most important thing in aiming.
Yeah, for
In
sure.
aim training.
I think that too, because nobody's gonna know what you need. Like me as a coach, I can have like a really good sense and a really good idea of the direction you need to go, but the ideal sense is that you need to figure out through me, through my skill and my knowledge, which direction do I need to take, how do I reach it, and how do I figure out what's best or what's not best for me and stuff like that.
Think of an aim coach who's just like a
A slave.
psychologist or something. As oh wow, okay. Okay, he's trying to get cancelled. Don't
Hey,
mind him.
if you pay me enough.
Okay, I can definitely set something up after the stream. Next stream, streaming with my.
Okay, dude.
That sounds like a title of fucking isekai anime.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, think of your aim trainer, coach, as more of like a psychologist. They won't know or like make a solution for you, but they will help guide you find one more efficiently. Because ideally, you're the one finding the solution. You're the only one who knows exactly everything that's going on. No matter how much you tell him, he can't know everything that's going on. You will only be able to know that. And he's ideally just guiding you. That's what he does. He helps you reach these conclusions faster. That's all, more efficiently and faster.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like there's a shit ton of people who I just give the playlist and I could tell that they learn nothing but they improve, and that's really good too. Like as long as you're improving, it's good, but the people who really take their aim, the people who future proof their aim are really the ones who see success, because realistically you're not going to be able to pay a coach, even if it's cheap or expensive, for like a year, right? I have had people who stayed with me for a year, but it's like it's very rare, right?
Yeah,
And
true.
one thing I've seen, one thing that's very interesting, talking about natural skill and all that, and I think after this point we'll move on from the whole natural skill thing, but usually good aimers who don't even aim train, they usually, if they're allowed to, they take that extra 50 milliseconds to consciously make sure they hit their bullet. Whereas a bad aimer, usually it doesn't matter how much or little time he has, he's most likely going to miss. And the difference is usually how quickly he fixes that miss. So if you're a bad aimer and let's say you have 1,000 milliseconds to respond, a good aimer won't need that. But you as a bad aimer, you'll react 100 milliseconds onto the fight where you can actually take 1,000 milliseconds. So you'll react way quicker than it's necessary, if it's not like, if the situation doesn't recall it, right? And then it just becomes about, okay, how do I fix my fuck up? So you fuck up quickly, and then you want to fix your fuck up, but you could have just taken more time to consistently hit the target. And that's something that beginner people do when they have the time, of course, because sometimes somebody just peeks you and you have like a split second to react.
Yeah. Also, when someone like has to react, I notice this a lot. Like, it's not just about being calm. It's mostly taking the time you require. Like everyone takes different amount of times, just not just I don't know, like just 50 milliseconds. It's just everyone takes certain amount of time to react correctly, because some people just use prediction and flick as soon as they see someone.
Yeah,
They don't
exactly.
take any extra time, and they just like flick blindly based on their prediction around a certain area. And like, let's say they will hit the shot 60% of the time or something, or like maybe sometimes even less, but that they're flicking based off prediction, not based off information, like let's say where the target is going or something like that. They're like
Yeah.
predict he's gonna go here and flick randomly. And
And
I noticed that it's very common, especially in games
yes.
with very low time to kill.
Mm,
People, instead of becoming faster, they just start flicking blindly based off
yes.
predictions.
Yeah, exactly. Because you have to think like, what habit is this building for me? And you're essentially building a habit of I see an enemy and I react as quickly as possible, rather than I see an enemy and I'm going to make sure my crosshair is on him before I click. And you shouldn't like do that in game, but you should build those habits in Kovacs, essentially.
Also, by the way, quick advice. This is the most important advice, even more important than aim training.
To
Take
get my
care of
coaching.
your.
Huh? Nothing. Can you...
Oh god, yeah. I'm saying, take care of your eyes. Make sure you get
Mm,
them always checked for like laziness or let's say any eye conditions, like not being able to see well or stuff like that. That matters very much in reacting and in
yeah.
being able to process information well. Because no
Yeah.
matter how much time you put in, if your eye, which is the thing that makes first contact with the target and
Your
basically
direction, right?
dedicates everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's the most important thing in aiming. Because
Yes.
again, when you go down to the simple science, it's just hand-eye coordination. If your
Yeah.
hand is fine, your eye is most likely the issue. Some people I've seen, they would put in a lot of time and they would still not be consistent or something. Like they would still have issues. And at the end, they just end up having a lazy eye or something like that, like lazy
Yeah.
eyes or have some shit with their eyes going on.
Yeah.
And when they got it fixed, like got their lenses or like did some, they give them like some correction surgery or exercises for their to strengthen the eye muscles so they're not lazy. Yeah, then like they're reactive and everything really improved about their aim.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Exactly. I agree with that.
Like
Fragged
not a lot of
as
people talk about eye health.
exactly. No, nobody pretty much talks about that. Or like, the thing is, some people don't talk about, let's say, eye training, and they'll say like, "Oh, eye training is a joke." For example, it's not that eye training is effective or not effective. It's do you need it? Some people don't need it. And that's the whole thing about aim training in general. Some people will say static is useless. Well, do you need static? Is something you're doing wrong in game? And some people don't need that, so that then it becomes irrelevant to them because they have good first shot accuracy, and that's why they don't see any results from playing static, where some people really need it. And I think that's a huge thing pretty much every single aim coach or people who teach aim do, that they go off what works for me is going to work for everybody else, and not what does my client, what does this person need, what does he lack that I'm trying to fill his gap. You know what I mean? And people don't ask these
Yeah,
questions
I'm trying
about
to fill his gap.
huh.
I'm trying to fill his gap. That's something you said. Don't talk to me. Don't act.
I mean, you don't have any proof. You don't have any proof I said that.
Chat
Anyway,
clip the shit.
clip it. No, so there's really no, you have to get into this mentality. There's nothing right or wrong in aim training. It's right or wrong for you. What do you need? At this stage, when I'm a beginner, I might need static. And when I'm not a beginner, static might not be as useful for me, so I actually need dynamic now. That doesn't mean static is useless. It means it served its purpose and I no longer need it, for example, or I need less of it. Maybe it's a better explanation. Also,
Yeah, true.
Fragged, it's an old question, but Fragged says, do you think eating, sleeping, etc. helps or hinders you? And sleeping for sure.
100%.
For sure. Like if you have bad sleep, if you get like 5-6 hours of sleep and you aim train, I can't hit shit. But if I get like 8 hours, I'm golden. I'm kukli, you know?
By the way, guys, just so you know, the percentage of people like who can like perform well in life, not just in aim training, on 6 hours of sleep or less, rounded to a whole number is 0%. Just so you know, it's that rare that you're gonna be able to perform
Yeah,
well on 6 hours of sleep. So get your sleep, get your hours, because
get your sleep.
that surely hinders you a lot.
Yeah, there's a reason why a lot of people they drink coffee and then they aim train, and sometimes people shake from that, but they'll be like, oh, I drank coffee and suddenly my scores just exploded. It's like, yeah, it's sort of the same theory. Better sleep is definitely useful. One thing that I have seen consistently, and I want everybody to listen up right now. Consistently, I see this issue. You get a score and you see the percentile be like 65, 75, 85%, and you will believe I'm better than 85%, 75% of people. In reality, you're garbage. And that's just the truth. Because that low number is not going to help you in game. In game, I would say if you have a good percentile on, of course, like a normal scenario, not like a super popular one, is like 98, 99, 100 percentile, then you know that, okay, I'm pretty solid at this. Because even if I have a super good score, right? If I still overflick, I'm still going to overflick in game, no matter what my score is, no matter what my percentile is. So you have to rewatch your VODs and think about it. What mistakes am I doing that is affecting me in game, rather than I have good percentile, I'm good at this, I move on. Because anything below 90% percentile, you need to play this a lot more, and maybe even an easier version of whatever you're playing. Unless it's like something one wall, 6 targets, who's like has a million plays, right? We're taking like the average scenario here.
I personally think when you're in the beginner to intermediate level, you shouldn't look at the score as a sign of improvement or anything. You shouldn't look at it because you don't understand how scoring works. Because in certain scenarios, being a certain percentile is better than like let's say something, as you said, popular like one wall, 6 targets. Most of these players like that, let's say you're above 50 percentile, like the 50th percentile, dude, the median on that scenario, I remember it by heart because of how much I played that scenario. It's 744. Do you want to know how bad 744 is? You'll think I'm above average if I'm above 50%, which is 744 on that score. Bro, I literally can switch hands and get above 744.
Yeah.
Like, just so you know, like how unreliable the percentages are.
Yeah.
Like,
and
I
it's
literally
even worse
tried
in
it.
aim labs, right?
Remember that one time, dude? In aim labs it's a lot worse than Kovacs. You'll think you're hot shit. Bro, remember that one time I played on very high sense, like maybe like 4 times, 5 times my sense when we were trying something out. We were on call, and I played that and still got like 900 or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's just not reliable to think about it. Like, until you understand really how scoring works, you have a general idea. Don't look at scoring. Look at how well you're performing in the scenario. Ask yourself, am I overflicking? Am I going straight lines? Like, that's what you should be focusing on, not the score.
Because exactly, I agree with that a lot, because a lot of people, they'll go into a run of like one wall, 6 targets, and they'll get like a decent score, right? Let's say they, according to them, a decent score. Let's say they get 80 percentile, and they won't understand that, you know what, sometimes you have good spawns in the bots. Sometimes you get like lucky. Sometimes you have, this is your highest capable aim, right? It's the best you've ever done. And in game, you won't do the best you've ever done every single time. So you have to start looking at the averages much more importantly. And it leads into this whole thing of people overestimate their skill so much, because in game, you're required to have perfection. Even if you're going up against somebody who's worse than you, you need to have perfection, because sometimes you get caught off guard. Sometimes the enemy moves in a random direction you couldn't think of. Sometimes you have a worse gun or whatever the situation. So by essentially just being pretty shit, you cannot expect to have that level of perfection. And that's where VOD reviewing is super important, because a lot of the times I will have like a run, and maybe you've had this as well, Nader. I have a run which is like 98, almost 100 percentile. And then I'll rewatch it and I'll be like, this looks so fucking bad. This looks horrible. So if it looks horrible but it has good score, how am I then expected to perform good in game? You know what I mean? Because if you overflick in 1 while 6 targets, you're going to overflick in game as well. So you have to have perfect aim. Always strive for perfection, and don't settle for that, and stop overestimating. This is a big one. Stop overestimating your aim. If you think you're a 5 out of 10, most likely you're a 1 to 2 out of 10. That's from my experience in coaching. Like, I've had over 500 clients easily, and it's something that more than 95% of all those 500 clients always extremely overestimate their aim. Start underestimating your aim, and that's a really good habit that I can give you.
Nah, you don't need to underestimate, I think, personally. Just be fair around the judging. But if you tend to overestimate, then yeah, maybe go with underestimating. But yeah, because
It's
also
an
a
ego
big part
thing.
of aiming is confidence. It's important. It's a very important confidence.
Very true.
Especially with the thing I'm studying right now. I told you I have the research with. Like, I told you, like, how psychology affects it and stuff. Like, that in itself can fuck you up, especially with people who have like bigger tendency to doubt and anxiety in their brains. That like fucks them up if they don't have confidence. They could be the best aimer and they will start aiming like they've never held a mouse before if they lose their confidence.
And that's a huge thing. That's a huge thing to why can't I see results in game? It's because you're not necessarily you're confident. Confidence is super important, but it's your inability to like push yourself in the scenario, and that will come out to the in game. So some people that I coach, they'll have really good speed that I talked about. And more importantly than that, they'll be able to like, how do you say, they can naturally push and challenge themselves and not just drift by and lazily play the scenario, you know? And those are the people who see the best results in anything. And because some people are progressing, right? They're doing better in scores, but they're actually progressing their bad habits as well. So you want to look at that. True, just as a little side thought. I'm going to read chat for 1 second. I overestimated my skill. My aim to be 7 is static. Yeah, got humbled by 5 points. That's funny. Even Cobra says, not even just averages. I like to base it on 4 things: aim, techniques, mouse control, speed, precision, and maybe miss reaction time. Exactly. Missed reaction time is super important. If you want to get, not really, like, there's no science behind this, but I always tell all my clients, get omega-3 and get vitamin D and get strong doses as well. This will help your visual reaction time 100%. There's no science to it, but it's going to help your health, and it's going to be good. I've felt a difference personally, and I know that some of my clients, especially the ones who live in colder countries, have seen improvements with that.
Also, big point for reflexive, since we're on it, reactive, sorry, and reflexes and shit. Once you develop like you have good fundamentals, and you've practiced well, stop thinking. Let's say you missed in a game and stuff. Don't let doubt start sinking in and doubting your like what you've learned, because that fucks up your reaction time very badly. Like there's a system in the brain. Look, I'm pretty sure you all guys are familiar with something called OCD, let's say. Okay? OCD isn't something that is specific to people like, okay, I have OCD or something. It's actually existent in everyone, just in different degrees. It's just, OCD is just, you can think of it as a doubt system in the brain. And people who have OCD just have extra doubt in their brain. But everyone is prone to stuff like that. And when you start doubting, OCD works in a way that is, let's say I have to go from A to B. If I let OCD take over, it will make me go from A to C to B. Then, that in itself just makes it start taking longer, and the route just becomes so fucked up and mixed up. It's just, yeah, it's very bad for your aim, you can say, just
Yeah.
from a psychology standpoint. So
Mm.
that's why when you start whiffing, and you like start how do I say this? Like you start overthinking it, then you start
Yes.
becoming even worse by the time
Yes.
you're playing, and you
Because
tilt.
that's super true, because a lot of people, they'll come to me and be like, I'm not getting better. I feel shit today. I feel really bad today. What's wrong? And it's like, you don't need to overanalyze it if you've just had a bad day, because even the world's best aimers have bad days. They whiff and they do everything. You're used to always seeing high scores, your peak aim, highlights, the best that they can do, and automatically think that you need to perform, and they always perform at that level when it's not really true. Don't overanalyze, as another said, when it's just like you have a bad day, or you have a bad period, or you get a good score. Don't like expect to always be your best performing self.
Yeah, that's very true. You gotta always remember they're just showing you their highlights.
Mm.
Like I can show you my highlights right now. You'd think I'm the fucking best player in the world. You go in a game right now, I'm probably gonna whiff every shot.
Real.
Just a day. Yeah,
Real.
like we played me and 4BK a couple of like a week ago or something, and yeah, let's just say it didn't go too well.
Yeah, but we played at like 6 a.m. or some shit.
Bro, we
We had
were
zero sleep.
fucking like our heads were just gone at that point.
And we had like a 3 hour talk or something before that. We were fried. That was funny. But what
But
what
we
you
still
can
shit
do.
on people. We like that.
Yes. Exactly. What you can do though when you have a bad day is to like actually use that to acknowledge what you're doing wrong. So, because your mistakes will usually be exaggerated when you have a bad day. So let's say you're over flicking and now you have a bad day, you'll be like super over flicking, wide over flicking. And then you can sort of use that to your own advantage. And don't just mentally acknowledge this. Write down notes. I struggle with over flicking because I see it in static and my game, whatever. I struggle with reacting and I do blah, blah, blah. And this is something super important, because when you make mental notes, it can usually all get blurred out. But when you write things down and you can always go back and look at that, that's when you sort of reinforce that really good and focus on the smaller stuff. Even if you're just doing slight mistakes, focus and write every single thing down. That'll help you a lot. Like journaling, I think they call it, right?
Yeah, journaling.
Exactly. For stuff like mouse grip, people just waste time,
Oh,
overthink instead of grind and really improve. I agree with this personally. I know some people don't agree with me. They have different opinions on this, because a lot of people, they teach that sensitivity, grip, and stuff like that matters. And here's the thing: it matters if it matters to them. If they change sensitivity and they see better results, then they should keep doing that. But, and this is a big, big but, if you change sensitivities and you just see short term benefit, meaning you feel good at the start and then you feel like shit, it's not helping you at all. It's the opposite. But if you change sensitivities and you feel like shit, but then you will learn as time goes on, that means changing sensitivities most likely will help you, because you're learning and adapting. And it's not just like this placebo that, oh, I changed my Crosshair and now I'm playing better, or I changed my grip or something like that. Like personally, I think you should just slap your hand on the mouse and play however and focus on the actual skill. But I know that some people have changed their grip and have said, yeah, in the long term, super important. In the long term, this has really helped me to get better micros or something like that. What do you think, Nader? Because I know you've experimented a little bit with grip styles and stuff.
yeah, this is actually something, the thing I've been working on, how physiology basically affects aiming. And general rule of thumb I found out is basically if you're the average person, remember how I said like someone has weird hand shape or something? Like unless you have a weird hand shape or a weird forearm shape or some shit like that, like or you have a very weird grip naturally, you shouldn't worry about mouse grip. You can just like it will give you minimal to no difference and probably the difference you're gonna find out is just because of placebo and the changing in the sense. But for some people, like let's say by nature they have, let's say because of their body, they have limited range of motion, they have less stability or something. Then sense would help, grip would help. It would actually help them a lot more than it would help the average person because the difference won't be placebo. It would actually relate. Like let's say you have less stability, playing on a lower sense will suit you better because controlling higher sense is going to be really hard for you. Like if you have less stability by nature because of your hand shape or something. But
Yeah.
for most people, general rule of thumb, if you don't have some special case with your hands or your forearms or stuff, and by nature like you grip the mouse like somewhat like others, like you have like let's say palm claw or some combination of palm claw or fingertip, you have like some natural grip, your hand isn't fucking tilted all the way or some shit, like unless you're like but like different from these, then no, changing the mouse grip won't help. But if you have
Yeah.
some weird ass mouse grip by nature, or again, just something wrong with your physiology, then don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Don't worry
Just
about it.
don't
Yeah.
overthink it at all. Actually, if anything, you'll notice when you become better, your hand will start shifting grips based on the scenario you're playing. If anything.
Yeah. I had one guy who came to me and he was like, I'm switching grips all the time per scenario, and he felt like it was hurting his aim. And this is where you need to figure out, because I can't decide. Now that I can't decide, nobody can decide for you how you should hold your mouse, what sensitivity you should have. This is all up to you. And this is where you need to sort of experiment. Okay, if I change my grip here, is that good? For my in-game benefit, is that good, or does that hurt me? Should I do this? Should I do that? And you should just question yourself with everything. And that's really how you get better, is by questioning yourself. Because a lot of these things, if you're noticing a pattern, is that we aren't talking about raw mechanics here. You could find that anywhere on YouTube, right? We're talking about the mental game, which is so important. And I don't think anybody really, nobody really covers this. But a big thing, for me at least, and maybe you felt this as well, Nader, is how certain aim theorists, whatever the fuck you want to call it, people who make aim content, teach you. And one of the things that you could have maybe frequently heard is if you play Bounce 180, you should shoot the targets at the top, right? Because that's how you should play the scenario.
They teach you how to score farm, basically. Yeah.
They teach you how to score farm, but you have to think a little bit different.
So
you have to think, that cat is cute as fuck, you. You have to think about it like this. If an enemy is jumping peeking at me, like it's common in Apex, for example, or COD, do I then wait until he's at the peak of his jump to then shoot, or will I just react and then shoot as quickly as possible? Because that's usually how people do, right? And
we have a special guest for BK.
Who?
My cat just came.
Hey, yo, show him.
Vanilla one.
The vanilla one?
No. Oh, I've never sent you the pic. Let me send you. Send you the pic. Show it to the stream.
Do it.
This my little girl. Where was my phone?
So essentially, little cat break. Essentially, stop trying to optimize the scenario for scores or for success in the scenario. Because a lot of people optimize Kovacs to be the absolute most best thing, the ideal scenario, ideal eyesight, ideal everything, instead of trying to fixate how do I aim in game and what are some mistakes I do in game. So stop. Unless you want to improve in Kovacs and that's your goal, like sure, go ahead. But I think 99% of us actually want to feel results in game, right? What's up, Sleep? Let me stream got muted. Oh, it's muted. Never mind. My headset got disconnected. That's funny. People should be open to experimenting in stuff that don't hurt long term. More data, we know more. That's the thing, Cobra. You have to think about everything when it comes to science and aim training. Imagine how long it took for us to learn basic things about space. Or even now, if you buy, let's say, a skin product, and it'll be like, this removes your acne in 3 days. How often does it actually remove your acne, despite it being science-based, right? So science is very, 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 very far away from aim training. But what we can do is to have accurate guesses and estimations to what works for us, and that can only be done to trial and error. And of course, there's some common laws that can apply for everybody as well.
Can you hear her?
Don't sleep. No. Can you open your cam?
I don't have a cam. I'm on my PC.
Yeah. Send a pic, cat pic.
I did. It's in your DM.
Chat, you want to see his cat? Oh my god, this is zoomed in. Oh, that's a cute cat, right?
She's sleeping with my keyboard now.
If
I suddenly go mute.
Is it true that orange cats are like kind of assholes? Or he's like orange white, so
he's kinda actually in the pic he looks different, but he's kinda more on the gold to orange side and white. But no, she's not crazy, dude. She's actually very lovely.
Oh, that's nice. Oh, it's another cat.
Except when she's crazy.
Except when she's crazy, yeah.
Yeah.
They say, because they always say orange cats are crazy. My sister has an orange cat. That's funny.
Really? Mine isn't crazy, but yeah, I hear the same thing that ginger cats are fucking as bad as gingers in real life.
Hey, yo.
Yeah, based opinion.
A real. One thing, excluding the cat talk, right? The cat benchmarks are actually pretty good. I like the cat benchmarks. If you're interested
in, like, not one of the most difficult?
I don't think they're the most difficult, but they have some really good scenarios that are kind of unique.
Was it the Miyu ones?
Miyu are really good too. They're super, super good. They're tracking.
I think any benchmark that is difficult, I think it's good.
Yeah.
It like tells you better.
Yeah.
But I don't like the
this
idea of adapt and benchmark. The STS ones, I like the idea of adapt. You know why?
Yeah.
It helps you give more consistent results. It actually tells you, like, let's say you played it on a bad day or a good day, it won't be that far apart because it's adapting to how good you are. So it's testing your technique, not how well you're performing on that certain day. It's mostly testing technique.
Yeah. Also, Anthony D, which is Sleep My Mod, who has the top 11 in Miyu Dodge, by the way, says Miyu Dodge sucks. He's played that scenario till he's 11 in the world, which is a super hard scenario, and he says it sucks. So it took him roughly 100 hours of Miyu Dodge to figure that out. No, but that's a good that's a good playlist and a benchmark, actually. I really like the Miyu stuff. I don't like the whole RA did one recently, and Voltaic does this where they structure it. I don't like their structure. I just think their structure is, I think what they're doing is mainly focusing on testing your aim. But when I hop into Kovacs, I don't want to test my aim, you know? Like the way I test my aim is how good I perform in game. And that's the only test, that's the only benchmark I need. Like even my own STS benchmarks, I don't play them. I don't touch benchmarks. But the STS
we don't fuck with you, Voltaic. You the ops.
But the STS one is actually made to work on your specific issue. So the stage 3 overflicking actually works to work on your overflicking. It's not just to test your overflicking. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And I think that's what makes them pretty unique. They're going crazy.
I've seen Sleep in the server before.
Sleep is my mod. He's the Chinese guy.
Yeah, I've seen him. Oh, he's Chinese. He's aim fucking aim god.
Dude, exactly.
I noticed, bro. Asians are insanely at aiming.
Asians, yeah, they're insane.
Especially Koreans, dude. Holy shit.
Really?
Yeah,
Isn't
yeah, Koreans in Valorant are so fucking good.
there's some guy called Snake, I think. He's pretty good. He's really good. I don't know if he's Korean or something like that, but maybe he's Japanese also. I think
Sleep, don't fucking lie. I saw you multiple top scores.
Sleep is good, but he always says he's trash.
Yeah, I noticed.
Want to see my snake? Yeah, please. Fucking weirdo.
Buddy, you
So
Asian. We know you ain't have a snake.
I want to cover some quick things, and then I'm pretty satisfied with it. We can talk about additional stuff. One thing is that the easier you reach a high score, the better you usually are. So if you're playing one wall six targets for the first time, we're using that scenario every single time now. But if you're playing one wall
Yeah.
six targets for the first time, you've never touched a mouse, you've never done anything, and you reach a good score, that's usually a sign that like you already have good aim and you'll learn quicker. Because if you play pokeball and there's a pokeball scenario that you've never played before, but you've played other pokeball scenarios, you'll most likely get a good score on that pokeball one because it's your skill that's showing more so than the actual spawns or learning of the scenario or stuff like that. Because one big thing that Kovacs players are so afraid of, super afraid of, is randomness, right? You have this, I call it the fear of the UFO. And it's kind of funny because if you don't know what a UFO is in Kovacs, it's basically a bot that darts and shifts directions really quick, sort of like a tracer would in Overwatch if you play that game. So it's like it jumps to another part, almost like a teleport. And the reason Kovacs players don't like that is because it hurts their score. It makes it more random. But in game is random as fuck. And your aim is essentially your ability to handle and respond to that randomness. It's not exact patterns that you'll find in game or in Kovacs. That is patterns are a part of it, but it's much smaller part than your ability to handle and respond to randomness. That is essentially like a part of mouse control, if not all of mouse control.
Well, if you play one specific game, like let's say you play CS or Valorant, strafing patterns are not that randomly. Like you can still predict, but it's still a very good skill to have because not always someone is gonna have like the same movement. It's very, like you should have it. You should practice these kind of like randomness for randomness. Like you're not always gonna. Sometimes people, especially I see this with higher elo players, and they go like up against let's say someone who's a noob, but they end up getting killed because of the movement. They're confused. They're used to predicting like AD or some shit like that, and that guy just fucking white swings the shit out of them and sprays what, bro. He starts spraying before he even peeks the wall, and he just hits them and kills them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if you practice the for randomness in Kovacs, you're not gonna be thrown off by something like that. Well, you're gonna be thrown off, but just not as much. You'll be able to react at least.
Because the thing is, the way I think about it, and you could tell me if you have thoughts about this as well. It's not that, for example, Valorant, it has the same movement speed, same everything. Usually everybody plays with the same AK or Deagle or whatever. But it's the patterns of the enemies that are going to be different. So sometimes a person will short peek you, he'll wide peek you, sometimes you get double peeked. And that's sort of where the randomness factor comes in, where you don't know what's going to happen. So you need to be able to respond and aim no matter what the enemy or you are doing. That's really what mouse control is in my eyes, is being able to hit your shots and control your mouse no matter what your person, like how you're moving fast or slow or left or right, and no matter how the enemy is moving or peeking you or stuff like that, right? So that's what I mean with randomness, is that you don't really know what will happen.
Yes, but because at a certain point, like the bad play becomes the good play because it's less predictable. Why do you think that is? Because no matter, like, let's say a quick example is like peeking close to the corner when you don't have angle advantage is something pretty common now. Because even though it's bad technically because he sees you way earlier, just because it's at a different angle, and you go a bit faster because you're closer to the wall, usually it would be a bad idea. But since it's not predictable and his crosshair placement is wrong, and he expects something else, it becomes a good play. Its benefits start outweighing its cons.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Because a lot of the times, if you're a skilled player, you'll often have a lot harder time playing as beginners because they're so like they're doing shit that doesn't make sense and that you're not used to. So that's why a lot of people are be like, dude, I'm playing against like people way below my rank, but I'm doing way worse than I would be playing against somebody who's my rank because they're more predictable because they do the correct play. Whereas you're saying that like sometimes the bad play is the correct play because they're not expecting it. Is that
Yeah.
right? I basically repeated what you just said, but yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
Good job, buddy.
That's all I do. I just repeat everything you say. No.
Yeah, free carry on the podcast.
Yeah, real. I might be getting a phone call soon. I'm getting a package, so I might need to go down. But
You
in
can
the
get my
meantime-
package.
Hey, yo, I'll do that after as payment for being here.
Yeah,
So-
okay.
So one thing that I see constantly, and I want to get your opinion about this. People, once they reach the fundamental status and they've done all that shit, they completely neglect movement and recoil scenarios. And I think a lot of people think about it this way. The same movement pattern isn't in my game. The same Kovacs pattern isn't in my Valorant gameplay. So it's different speeds, it's different recoil, it's different stuff like that. That makes sense, but 1 while 6 targets isn't the same pattern as you're shooting in game either. It's about learning that I am moving and how do I adjust my aim with my movement, or how do I adjust my aim with my recoil. That's what you're learning, because every single game has recoil and every single game has movement. So you cannot just completely neglect this. I'm not just saying you need to play only movement or only recoil. That's not what I'm saying. But you cannot either completely neglect it like it's not a thing that happens in every single game. You can get good without these scenarios, but I think they're really good. When I play recoil scenarios, for example, my tracking is so much better. Have you had a similar experience with like reactive or with tracking or recoil?
Recoil and movement, yeah. See, the thing is, it's a general misconception. People think you're learning that exact scenario. It's a big misconception about muscle memory and how it works and stuff. Like, aim is some way muscle memory in some way, but it's not really, obviously. And when you're practicing something, you're not really practicing that exact scenario. It's actually you're playing so you get the skill, you develop the skill of being able to do certain things.
Exactly.
It's just like when you're young. Okay, so there is studies that children who, let's say, play chess as kids or some shit are more likely to be more intelligent when they grow up. Why? Is it because like they play chess and life resembles chess? No. Or like their whole decisions will resemble chess? No. It's just because the chess itself helped them. Yo, what happened? 4BK is getting cooked.
Sorry, Nader. I just need to pick up my package.
No
I'll
worries,
be
no
down
worries.
in like 1 second. Entertain them, okay?
Yeah.
Please troll Nader, please. BRB.
Yeah, please try. I'm supposed to entertain you, but I don't even know how to entertain myself. So, yeah. Good luck. I can see the chat, by the way. So maybe have a chat with me or some shit. I'm your typical EPAL E-boy on Valorant. Just start saying the N-word over and over. No, you need a pass for that, unless it's Black History Month. I'm immortal in Valorant. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't really play ranked that much anymore. It's mental illness. Is it good to train with high sense? Ranks in any Kovacs benchmarks? Well, last time I did Kovacs benchmarks was like when I was beginning my aim training thing, and I was like masters with some grandmaster scores mostly. But now I've improved a lot, especially on static and pasu and stuff like that and dynamic. So I don't know. I should do it again. I should do the STS ones. Wait, really? I could honestly use some help in Val. I have no idea what I'm doing. Trust me, buddy, I don't either. I mostly rely on my aim to carry me in Valorant. If I fucking had to do anything else, I'm cooked. I'm decent at tracking, but bad at static. How do I get better?
Neither. That's enough. Nobody wants to hear you talk.
Yeah. So the
I'm
best way
funny.
to transfer aim from any trainers with 19 hours. What the fuck? How do you have 1900 hours in Kovacs? How long have you been playing?
Wait. Williker says there's 37,000 scenarios in Kovacs, not just one wall 6 targets. That's fucking funny. Yeah, I'll actually start using one wall 4 targets from now.
Buff the STS reflex flick score on stage 2, please. He's saying your shit is too weak for BK.
Oh, well, which stage is he on?
He's saying on stage 2, the reflex flick score.
Oh, well, the stage 1 to 2 is beginner stuff. Stage 3 to 5 is more like intermediate, like towards advanced. It's not meant to be super impossible scores to reach. It's sort of more to test your weakness, quote unquote. And if you can pass 1 to 2 easily, you know that you most likely need less fundamentals, right?
Dude, who's Neo Ninja?
Neo Ninja is like a super old battlefield aimer that was like got accused of cheating. He was like the original
Flusha?
no, he's not like the original target switch guy, you know what I mean? The first guy who really did target switching videos, essentially.
I thought that was Visco's.
Oh no. First round. Never mind.
You get it now?
Yeah, I get it. Anyway, I'm gonna read some aim. I pre-ordered F1 Extreme X Lev edition on the second day. They started shipping yesterday. Still no notification. Oh, dude, Chinese shipping. I think you probably order it from like AliExpress or something. Chinese shipping takes a long time. I just got my Chinese shipping packages actually. That were some perfumes.
Yeah, it takes them a while to read the labels.
Yeah. Yeah. No, because if you don't know, I work at an airport, and so we have the Chinese aircrafts come in all the time. And what the fuck is that car doing, by the way? Chinese flights come in all the time, and they're usually packed. There's more cargo than there is passengers or baggage.
He's saying it's on their official site.
Yeah, well, I think it's China too, because I think ATK is a Chinese not developer, what's it called?
Never had an issue with Chinese shipping. I get my shit in like 2 days. You probably have good
He
Chinese
lives in
points.
China, dude. He lives in China. That's why you get it in 2
good
days.
Credit score in China.
Yeah, he has good
Wait,
credit
Sleep
score.
lives in China.
Yeah, he's a real ni hao.
Oh shit! I wanted to invite him to fucking play some game with him since he's good, but I guess he's fucking Asian servers.
By the way, chat, I want to invite some people in. We're gonna start inviting. I'm gonna change this screen a little bit quickly just to show you Oops.
Bro, my
that's the
ping
wrong-
on here is like 100. Imagine on Asia. I'll be playing on
Oops, that's the
400 easily.
questions. I don't know how to do it, but join. Okay, listen, join the Discord. Dude, why am I ass at this stuff? I don't know anything about. Wait, there. Boom. Here we go. Join the Discord. You see these gaming channels, and we'll drag and drop you into the channel. So just join, and we'll
We
drag
have
you
someone
in.
called Flickbot
you'll
Cheat.
You'll hit your question. Yeah, that's sleep.
That's sleep.
Yeah, that's sleep.
Yo.
What's up, sleep? Okay, we'll take Will in first, and we'll answer Will's question, and then we'll take the next person. What's up, Will? How are you?
What's
Hello,
up,
Will.
crackers?
What's up, boy? How are you?
Oh, he's an
How's it
A.
going?
Yeah, Will is a long time viewer, right?
No, I don't know you.
Okay,
I just got here.
okay, dude.
Yeah, get fucked for BK.
Shut up. What's your first? Question, Mr. One Wall Six Targets?
You talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, this is for questions? Oh shit! I just wanted to be here.
Bruh. Okay, you could be here. We'll invite the next guy in. Motherfuckers. We'll invite Woolen.
You said, dude, you said fucking join the Discord, and I was like, oh, cool. And then I muted your stream immediately, and then I joined.
Join Discord for your questions. Is that good? I gotta write it so everybody sees.
Your questions don't have to be about aim training, by the way.
Yeah, they could be about like your sexuality.
We're life
you
coaches,
know,
gurus, and
real
shit.
life coaching,
We can help
yeah.
you with life.
Usually trans people are like better aimbers, so if you want to be trans, we got you.
Yeah, he's definitely trying to get cancelled.
Bro, they got
Okay.
the fucking steroids. It's not fair.
It's true. Okay, let's invite Wool. Poor guy's been waiting forever. Let's invite him. Hello, Wool.
Hello.
Hello. So
What's up,
can
how
I
are you?
ask you two questions, fam?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can you guess where I'm from my English? Okay. Can you do it?
UK.
Yeah, I
UK,
would,
not UK.
I'm guessing you play a lot of Counter Strike.
I don't play Counter Strike. I'm not from Russia.
Wait,
Damn.
talk a little bit more.
Like about what? Tell me something.
Tell me what you did today.
South Africa.
So I go to job, and then I came to home. I play Valorant. That's all.
Okay, the thing is, he's not from an English-speaking country because he said, I go to job. So he must
Yeah, I
be
noticed
like,
now. I
That's what
fucked
it
up.
must
South
be,
Africa.
Pronounce the V in Valorant.
Yeah, I play Valorant, and wait, how you know?
Dutch.
Maybe no. Maybe I'm tricking you. How you know?
Oh, he's smart.
Yeah.
He's smart. Okay, how about this?
Alright.
How racist are you on a scale from 1 to 10?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's a good one, right?
Wait, race?
Now, how racist are you?
Wait, what do you mean? I can't.
Do you hate black people is what we're asking.
Race. Let's say 5. Yeah, let's say 5.
So it's like in the middle. Okay.
Yeah, in the middle. Yeah.
Someone in
Sad
chat
you did
said I
that,
just
so it's
joined.
7.
What the fuck?
That's sweet, man. Got up your game.
Okay, you might be from like, he might be throwing us off. He might be like, wait, tell me what you do for work.
It's like it's reception. Maybe you know reception.
Reception. Are you Polish?
No, not Polish.
It's
like
somewhere in the Balkans.
Yeah.
Lithuania.
I feel like he's Serbian
I
or
don't fucking know.
something.
Yeah,
I'm from
Serbia.
German?
Yes, Serbia.
Okay, I'm gonna say where I'm from. Okay, I'm from Turkey.
Unlucky.
Ooh, that's.
I'm a
I
knockway.
like that. Put that on my sandwich.
No. Okay, so the second question I gotta ask is, bro, I got a new mouse, like, and I'm playing better. Like, is it okay? I don't understand because when I had G300S, I was playing bad in Ascended 3, but now when I get my Razer Death Adder Essential, and then I'm playing good now. Like, is it
I have the perfect answer. So, does it fit your hand better?
Yeah, it's fit my hand. It's everything. It's soft.
It fits way better than your older mouse.
Yeah, it's way better. And I got mouse pad. I didn't
That's
have
why.
that. That's why.
Yeah,
By the way,
it's 100% okay.
I watch your streams every day, fam. No, not every day, but when you open.
Wait, mine or Will's?
Bro, fumbled the lie.
Yours,
I don't
bro.
stream.
No, not your like the Kovacs. I'm watching the Kovacs one.
I mean the videos?
No. The streams when you open and the videos, yeah.
I appreciate it, man.
Isn't
I
this
hope
your
you learned
first
something.
time streaming for BK?
No, it's
No,
not
no.
my first time, but before, like, I had to take them down because the streams were like getting copyright strike, so I had to take down all
Really
my fucking streams,
racist, and like
Yeah.
he was just telling everybody to just.
So can
I'm not
I
gonna say it.
can I ask one more question? How can I change my aim? Like, how can I like? Do you have any routine?
If you if you go into, do you see the Discord? If you go into resources, there's a whole
Wait. Okay.
there's a whole
yeah.
GitHub in there, and that GitHub is going to give you different codes that you can also play. And if you're a beginner, I recommend reading the absolute first thing, which just says like
Wait,
beginner, and it has like
what I'm gonna play? Like, what's this? Like, what playlist is it?
just play 0 to hero or beginner fundamentals. That should be your starting point, right? Your absolute first thing if you're new to aim training.
Yeah, I'm new to aim training, but in where I'm gonna aim train? Aim lab or Kovacs?
Kovacs, don't use aim labs. That shit weak.
Use 3D aim trainer.
Now go on Roblox.
Wait,
Don't actually.
can I stay here?
Why do I think he's trolling us, guys?
Yeah.
Who trolling? Wait, what happened?
You just outed yourself, man.
Bro, what do you mean? Okay, about what? About what?
Okay,
This
we're
ain't
gonna
your real accent.
we're
Can
gonna
Can I stay? Can I stay?
no, we're gonna invite other people in because they're gonna answer the question as well.
Okay, if I
Okay.
boost the server, can I stay?
No, you don't have to do that. It's fine.
100 gifted.
100 gifted, no way.
No,
That's crazy.
no, don't do that. But you can listen into the stream if you want. It's no problem.
Wait, kid.
Yo, I'll still answer your questions and
No
shit.
problem.
I'll read the chat.
Okay, it's fine. I see ya.
Okay,
Bye.
nice to meet you. Thank you for asking.
Bye.
Yeah, no problem.
Later, bro.
Guys, I'm gay.
I knew it. Hey, let me know when I should leave and when my jokes aren't funny anymore.
Nah, don't
At
leave, don't
least,
leave.
at
He's
least
funny.
it came.
People-
Because I feel like I can feel when I'm getting really annoying. So
It's kind of funny. No, you're not.
You're from NA, of course you're annoying, man. Don't worry about it.
Hey, yo. All right, let's invite the next person in. It's F. I don't know who this is. F. My fucking Discord is like weird. What's up, F?
Fragged.
What's up, Fragged? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good. How's your day?
I was gonna ask, what do you think? What's your time frame on someone to be like above average or such in terms of aim?
That's a really good question. It definitely depends
I have an
on.
answer.
Yeah, you can answer after. It definitely depends on how, like we were talking about genetics and natural skill and natural people who
Yeah.
learn quicker than others and stuff like that. So that definitely depends. Because some people you can give them everything perfect and they're like have their inclination towards adapting new skills is somewhat slower, so they'll need more time, right? But if you want me to give you like a general thumb line, if you want, let's say like you play Valorant, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Valorant is slightly easier because the mechanics are sort of similar, where in Apex maybe it's more randomness and stuff. I could give you like, if you want to be above average, I mean anything from 100 to 500 hours, I would say.
And
Wait,
the
I should
give you
tutor and
general.
the trainer.
What'd you say?
No, in game. In game. He's talking
In game?
in game.
Okay.
Yeah.
No, in
but I can
training.
give you a more general. Yeah, but I can give you a more specific answer, dude. Wait, what's your experience with aim training? How long have you aim trained for?
I mean, I've had a PC in total for around 2 years, so I kind of started aim training a little bit, but I didn't take it seriously until a few months ago.
And what's your scores like? What do you notice? Like, do you find difficulty learning new concepts when you've been like watching the videos and trying to apply some stuff? Did you find difficulties applying them?
Right now, I feel like my only problem is my speed. I'm really slow when it comes to, or at least slower when I look at like pros.
Yeah,
And then I also have a problem with straighter lines.
I think you're probably gonna take 4 months consistent practice, probably. Honestly,
4 months, okay.
One question I want to ask you though is, do you have an issue when it comes to pushing yourself in speed, or is it that when you push, that's when your flaws come out?
I think it's a bit of both. I think I'm so used to the speed that I go at. Because I use, I'd say like a, I don't know, like average, maybe slightly higher sense than normal. So I'm kind of like used to putting in that little extra control.
Yeah.
And that might hinder my speed a bit.
I mean, that's two things. That's sort of where like unironically stuff like grid shot comes in. I mean, more useful is like 1 wall 6 targets. The not small version is pretty useful. Adapt is also useful. But something that could really push, like actually push your speed is, I have a, it's called like, it's called reflex target switching.
wait, 4BK, you can give him my playlist. Remember the N5 one? The one you made for me when I was still back in like week 5.
I don't remember. I've made so many.
I'm in
playlists.
week
I can
3
give
right
it.
now.
I can give it to him. I can give it to him.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
It
you can.
helps.
But Fragged, try to use scenarios like low TTK. You can use also stuff like any larger targets. It'd be that clicking, dynamic, target switching, anything larger pretty much will help you there in getting used to moving fast and not having as many flaws when you're moving fast. And lastly is using stuff more like reflex stuff or stuff that surprises you or stuff that forces you to go fast. For example, window flick blade storm is a scenario where the targets just move and then they hide and then they disappear sort of, and that sort of forces you to move to a mere angle target switch is also really good. That would be my tip.
Wait, quick question, Frag. Do you struggle because there's 2 types of slow? There is like you're not fluid in the motions, like switching between targets, and then there is like the flick in itself. The initial flick is slow. Which one is it?
I would say probably the initial flick at times and in game and such.
4BK,
yeah, I
he
can,
might
like,
be dragging
flick
instead
onto
of
it.
flicking.
It might be tracking.
You might be dragging the mouse instead of like actually flicking.
Oh,
Dude, honestly, I think you should just play reflex flick hard.
Yeah,
just
try
playing
a
that.
combination of both reflex and play something like 1 wall 6 targets TE, like to see what is the issue. Is it the fluidity or like or something else? Also, Kali aim. There's the one Kali aim wave click. Try something like that.
Yeah, like larger doesn't mean like it's for beginners. It's good if you have a specific issue like this where you struggle with speed related stuff. But it's also like usually when you build your fundamentals slightly better, that's when stuff like that comes out. Because if you're a big pure beginner, which I know you're not, if you're like a pure beginner and you struggle with speed, usually it'll just get better with time, right? Because you're just at that beginner stage.
And I get that in general, I'll probably just get a lot better within time, but I want to shorten that time frame as much as possible.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But in short, larger static targets could help. Also, low TTK target switching. Ball sheet mini is super good. Ball sheet mini for speed, and any type of reflex flick, reflex firework, anything has the name reflex in it will generally help you. Sort of that punishes you if you miss the shot type of scenarios.
You should play any scenario that makes it so if you're not fast enough, like the target will just disappear and deduct score.
Google pressure.
Yeah,
Pressure
yeah.
really good as well. Yeah. Even Cobra says 360 big target switch scenarios. Yeah. So 360 target switch scenarios that are big are also pretty helpful for that, actually.
Who's saying
Did
get him
you-
gun? Who's
No,
Physio?
I think it was the other guy. Did you have anything else to
Oh.
add, my friend, or anybody else?
Trying to think. I had one question that I already like prepared that I was gonna ask, but I forgot. So I'm trying to think.
Well, how about
Okay.
you think of that, and we'll invite somebody in the meanwhile, and maybe you could write it down when you remember it. In Chinese.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. I'll keep you in the call though, and then you could type to me in Discord when you remember it.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, we'll invite the next guy. Why? What's up? Oh, he's muted.
Yo,
What's up, buddy? How are you?
so I'm good. Can I screen share?
No.
No?
No, I'm just
That's a
trolling. Yeah,
good
yeah,
choice.
Or
yeah. If
I
you want to ask a
would,
question, screen share. That's useful for all of us.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
click
'cause,
on
like-
that screen share on stream. Okay.
no, it's fine. Cause
Never-
like I'm
never
trying
mind,
to fix
never
my
mind.
aim, right? Cause like I feel like I'm sometimes a bit too fast. But I don't know. You guys can tell me. So like, if you guys have any tips at all, like it will help.
Bro, he's
tremendously.
trolling.
Yeah, I
Why are you
noticed.
trolling?
I thought the stream was going at like 10 FPS for a second.
Yeah, why are you trolling? I'm actually banning this guy.
Wait.
No tips?
Wait, bro, don't go too fast. Don't go too fast.
Yeah,
Slow
yeah.
down.
Slow it down.
Too
Slow it
fast.
down way
Wait,
more.
Okay,
wait,
my
stop
bad.
making fun
Too
of him. Like,
fast.
what if he's not
Too
trolling though?
fast. Too fast.
No,
Go slower.
he's trolling.
Wait,
No,
you
he's
go
Like,
trolling.
slower?
isn't he like stage 4 already?
I can't really go slower than this.
Just make your sensitivity
That's a skill
300, and then you move at the right speed. Yeah, 300, and this will fix your
If you
aim.
can hit one ball with 300 cents.
Oh,
Hey,
wow.
yo, he's actually moving fast with 300.
Well, thank you
fucking
guys.
No problem. You see, we actually degraded.
We
your
fixed
score.
the issue.
We fixed the
We
issue.
fixed the issue.
Thank you guys.
We
Like,
fix
this is very appreciated.
No problem. Get this guy out of here, man.
Yo,
Fucking
I
keeps
got a
getting
question.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about making my first tutorial, and I don't know how to make like a tutorial. I just put clips and then drag a copyrighted song over it.
Something that helped me a lot, and what I'm gonna start doing more and more is think about it like
Should I write
you're
a script?
Like yeah, write a script 100%. Think about it like you're explaining it to a child who doesn't know anything about aim training, and you're now gonna explain the issue that you're.
All right. So I'm
gonna do.
imagining I'm Dr. Disrespect now.
Okay.
Okay. dude.
No,
I think he misunderstood slightly.
I think he misunderstood. Bro thinks we're VT.
Yo! Yeah,
You're
these shots at
definitely getting
VT.
canceled.
Okay.
Yeah, anyone from VT, anyone from VT has beef with us over seeing this, come fucking find me. I'll fucking box all
Do
of you
they
motherfuckers.
actually
you
like
live in
know
a
you
war
guys?
zone, bro.
And they actually hate you?
Yeah, exactly. I'm more
Yeah.
ready, brother.
Okay, let's invite the next guy. What's up, R? How are you? I can't see his name.
No way, alright, come
Hello,
on.
R? I think he
Don't
maybe
go
he's muted
silent
or
on us.
something.
No, he's not.
Hello, R.
It's working now. You can talk, R.
He's muting and unmuting, so I think his mic is a little bit fucked up.
Yeah.
Check your input on Discord.
I'm gonna
That's such a
drag you
shame.
up. I'm gonna
His name is
drag
the
you in
last word.
after, and then maybe you can fix it after. We'll take in somebody else in the meanwhile. Hello, Ayi. Ayi, I don't know how you pronounce your name. What's
Hello.
up? How are you?
Bro, you had us tricked for a second. We thought you were an e-girl. And it turns out
Why?
you're just a femboy.
No, man,
Do you
why?
take it up the ass?
No.
No?
See,
Okay.
No.
Another's
Hey
just
yo,
money.
age check real quick.
Oh, it's fine. The
Like-
younger, the better.
I'm on.
Oh,
Well, mate. Come on. Okay, so there's a question.
Yeah. what's
Uh,
up?
If I, I've got like pretty good aim, I think, but
Mhm.
in game, I just think I miss my shots. I played pokeball a lot, but that's like not helping at all.
How
Mhm.
many movement
Yes,
scenarios
bud.
have you played?
What?
How many movement scenarios have you played? Like where you can move in them and you get points for it.
Probably 4 maybe. I mean, like
You should play more of those. That could be fucking up your aim, honestly.
It could be that, but generally you also have to think about two things. Number one is, do you really have good aim if you're missing everything in game, right? And number two is realizing which part are you messing up at. So let's say you play pokeball and your lines are really good, but you're still like, your micros are shit, for example, and that's why you're missing. So you're missing the micros and not the lines, hypothetically, like I'm just making an example. So you have to figure out which part of your aim, focus on the smaller issues, especially if you are a good aimer, as you say, focus on the details of what exactly you're doing wrong, and then look it up at how to fix this issue. Where do you think you're doing wrong? Maybe you could show us.
wait. Like, wait a second. I will hop on Valorant. Or Kovac, I don't know.
Do you have any videos? I'd like to have videos.
No, I don't clip too much. That's the problem. I mean, I have OBS, but don't use it.
Okay. Well, do this.
now,
Jump on.
what if
jump.
you're
Yeah, go ahead. Sir.
good? Okay. Now, what if you're good at aim trainers, or like you have decent scores in aim trainers, but then you like forget how to aim in game? Like it just completely goes out the door.
I mean, it's probably because you have to focus on a lot of things in game. Maybe that's the case.
I would avoid blaming stuff like that, because aiming
should be second nature.
Yeah, it's mostly subconscious. So if you miss a shot, it's usually your aim and not, like, sometimes it could be that your enemy is like better than you or has the upper advantage or better movement, like that. Absolutely game sense. All of that stuff happens, but if you're consistently missing shots, that's a sign that you suck. You know what I mean?
I mean,
I'll give you an example. Me on Widowmaker in Overwatch versus me on Soldier, completely different.
That's so real, dude.
Like, me on Widow, I just can't hit anything. I will legit like flick randomly. I'll forget how to aim.
Everyone on my team will yell at me if I play fucking Widowmaker. I'm not hitting shit.
Yeah.
Hey, did you? How do you say your name? Ayi?
I, which is
Okay.
by yacht. I mean, I. You can say I.
Like
I don't mind. I don't know.
Okay.
I can't pronounce it either.
Did you manage to take up Valorant?
Yeah.
Okay, can you show us?
Yeah.
We'll be able to
wait a
go through it
second.
quickly because there's other people also waiting.
Okay. Wait. So shall I go that much? Okay. Wait. I will give you a screen.
What rank are you in Valorant? Just curious.
I was now I'm plat, but I was ascended.
Ooh, me
from-
too.
Oh, I'm diamond here. I was
I'm
the,
diamond one.
I was the.
I love that TikTok. I'm diamond one.
Yeah.
That's funny. I'll take some questions in the meanwhile.
Okay.
I'm gonna be him. Let's see. Let's reading chat. You didn't have connection. That sucks. Yeah, original
watch
guys from
your
the SAS
stuff.
benchmarks.
I'll have.
I realized from the SMS benchmarks how ass my micro adjustments are when moving. Yeah, that's a big one. Pasu dodge click is really, really good. Wait, he's in game now, so. Okay, we're watching.
Okay.
Everybody's
know
judging
why.
you, just so you know.
Okay. That will be Oh, this is what I have problem with mostly, like tracking the guy who's strafing a lot.
I
That's the main
have
problem,
a
I think.
fantastic scenario for you.
Yeah, go ahead, Will.
I don't know the name of it because it's really long and fucking weird. So let me open Kovacs again.
I don't know why, but I'm stressing a lot normally.
Yeah. I mean, you're always
it-
shooting beside the target. Have you noticed that?
Yeah.
First
Yeah,
of all,
what do you think that is?
Play-
Why do you think?
I don't know. Like, I've got 50 hours, so not too much. And I'm trainers.
Okay, I understand. Well, you're
I mean,
you're consistently near the target, which is a good sign, right? Because you're pretty close to target, but you're clicking before you're adjusting a lot of the time. One big thing, it looks to me like you're not adjusting at all almost. You're like moving and then you're not adjusting. Try more consciously putting your crosshair on the guy's head before clicking, but it's a sign that you should work on micros, these mini micros. Not, you don't have to work on wide micros. And it's also a sign that you suck at static. Dynamic hit confirmation as well is a big one. And lastly, big movement tracking, exactly as Will said, but make sure that you have solid tracking before you start hitting movement tracking.
The way you combine your aim and movement is bad, by the way, too.
Yes, exactly.
You're using them as if they're separate instead of them being one thing.
Yeah.
okay.
Does that make sense, or do you have another question?
That does make sense.
Okay. So basically, you suck at everything related to flicking, mainly micros, and you should
dude,
get
I thought you
better
were gonna stop.
You should uninstall.
No. You should. This is just realistic, and you should get better fundamental tracking so you can hit more movement tracking scenarios. Because your movement is sort of uncorrelated.
I have something to say.
Something like peek and click as well, because that helps sort of like this. Go ahead, Will.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't mean to sound like the dipshits on YouTube that are trying to sell you something, but are you calm aiming?
I mean, I never focused on it. I don't know. I
Like,
never cared about it. Probably. I
Like,
watched.
If you're aiming with your wrists and fingertips, and you're also at the same time like pushing down on your mouse or like holding it really tight, it's very bad, and it'll make you. It's just really difficult. Also, the scenario name that I was talking about is, for some reason, I think I edited a scenario and named it this. It's called Val Test Thing. It's fantastic. I know.
Okay. Buddy.
Okay, like I don't.
I got the #1 score, and I also have the only score.
Is it? One thing I want
remind me to go snipe you, Will.
One thing that I want to talk about, if you're practicing Valorant, get better at smooth precision tracking. Something, if you're a beginner, that is really good is like air to smooth, not TOTS. So anything that requires you to track and then micro adjust to the center of the ball all the time, which is basically precision tracking, if you know what that is.
Okay. I mean, I watched some of your videos, so I'm kind of know the basic stuff about aim training. But
something a little bit unrelated. It's less related to you, but some people who struggle stronger with your issues lack a lot of speed. I don't know if that's something which you feel. Not in their speed in their flick, but mostly in their speed of their micro adjustments. So you're not adjusting at all, which usually means that you're relying so hard on the initial flick that you don't have time to micro adjust at all. So try getting faster micros. A really good way to do that is actually target switching.
okay.
Play Sheriff only for a second. Why
What?
Sheriff? Play Sheriff only.
Okay.
Yeah. This is good practice also. Oh, he's calmer now.
He's aiming. Yeah, I'm telling you. It's habit.
gaming.
It's not a bad aiming.
Yeah, it could be. See how you, even there, you missed, but you took slightly longer time, which was what we were talking about, to aim, and now you're consistently hitting that first shot. So try chilling out a little bit when you see the target. And when we mean a little bit, we mean like in milliseconds, right? We don't mean like take an hour to aim.
And
You have more time than you think.
okay.
Like, trust me. Yeah.
And
Okay.
how much time should I spend? I mean, how to make what I will call a workout, because I've got a skull, so that's the main problem.
The simple answer is
what
if
did you
you
say?
don't feel. I don't know
I've
what
got
he said.
skull.
Skull, skull.
Dude, I was like, dude, I thought he said I have
I thought he had
asshole. I was
asshole,
like,
yeah.
What? What?
Sorry.
Another way to practice, like taking a little bit longer time, is to play only Deagle, only Sheriff. Fucking deathmatch is really good. I was gonna say something, but if you feel fatigue, play less than 1 hour. If you don't feel fatigue, play 1 hour before you game. Right, roughly.
Okay.
Okay. We're gonna move on to somebody else if you don't have any other questions.
Also, remember to be toxic at the end of each DM. Tell them that they should get better.
True.
That helps.
They need
type easy L loser.
For real.
Okay.
Make sure to
Or the
single
N-word
someone
works
out.
too.
Say, hey, like Reyna, you need Kovacs or something.
I mean, and I don't know why, but I feel like that's low, but
No. Make sure to do a reverse username search and then try to find their social media and
Their
then
address
also try to
usually.
find their real name. Yeah. Try to find their real name and their
Well,
address.
find-
and
Actually,
type
find
in
their.
prison.
You have to find their
Man.
girlfriend's Instagram and then DM her and try to get her.
man.
And if you're ugly, use a paper bag. Cover your head.
Okay, so I can tell you that it's nothing with my name. It's nothing with my name. I just copied it from someone's name, and yeah, yes, like there was a guy who played Neon, and I just got a fragment of his name. And
Oh, okay. It's a good name, bro. It's a good name. I like it.
Thank
Well,
you.
Thanks for your question. I appreciate you stopping by, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a nice day.
You too.
Okay,
Yeah,
we're
bro,
dragging in
enjoy
somebody
life.
else.
Oh, you didn't hear me.
Hello, Shouta. What's up? man?
Hello.
How are you?
Okay, so my question is, wait, I gotta close the stream. It's annoying. Okay, so my
Damn.
question
Good that we have
is,
you.
with crosshairs. So, like, you know, nowadays in Valorant, a lot of pros use like dot to like super small, tiny dot. And every time I try to use it, it just feels different. Usually I use 420, which is basically a plus with 2 pixel whips.
Which one do you aim better with?
I obviously with the plus, because that's what I use in aim
just
trainers
use that
also.
one.
They use the
Yeah,
plus.
but I wonder why it's so different
You-
to aim with a dot, and like how I could aim better.
Yeah, usually what happens is that a plus size is a larger one, and usually you could subconsciously, or with your peripheral vision rather, see where your crosshair is, and you can focus more on the enemy and bringing those two together, where something like a dot is very small, and sometimes your eyes lose track of the center of the screen, and a bigger crosshair usually helps with stuff like that. That's might be why a plus, but usually don't overthink it. If you play better with a plus, use a plus. If you don't play better with a dot, don't use a dot. And that's
Copy
simple as it is.
pros shit. Like ever.
Yeah, I guess it's like, you know, you just watch a montage with someone who uses dot crosshair good, and I'm just like, oh, I want to be like that. Copy
Yeah,
it.
but-
It's shit.
He's
Whoops.
good because he's playing something that's good for him, you know. And you will be good if you play something that's good for you. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess.
Like
Also,
shit.
Use a duck
one
crosser.
one question is, I don't know if you can help me in this one. Like my Kovacs is kind of stuttering, but I
Oh.
think I have it set up like correctly. I back then I copied Mati settings, so it should be pretty optimized.
One thing that is it's not about that. Kovacs is like pretty shitty when it comes to stuttering and stuff like that. If you have super many sound files, super many crosshair files, super many playlists that you have saved or are subscribed to, that's going to actually lag the application. So I removed
Oh,
every single
really?
sound file and every single theme that I don't use. And I recommend doing something like that.
Oh yeah, I might
I've
do it
never
because
removed
I
anything.
have a lot of playlists.
Yeah, you should do that. Because when I like had so many coaching playlists, it would take literally 10 minutes to open up my Kovacs, not even joking. Yeah.
That's interesting. Over the 1900 hours I've played this shit, I've never deleted a single file, and my game runs at like 400 FPS and it opens up instantly. So I guess I'm just one of the lucky ones.
Oh, real. You got Balkan look. Anyway, I appreciate your question,
jinx
my
yourself,
friend.
dude.
Did you have any other question, maybe, or that was it?
I think that was it. Yeah. Maybe one more thing. It's probably gonna also come down to preference. Same thing in Valorant. When I use bullet tracers, it's just so weird for me. Like the feeling of aim, it feels different, and I think even when I'm not shooting, I aim differently just because I know I have bullet tracers.
I'll tell you this. Most people who are super fixated or super worried about stuff like this usually have shit aim, and then they feel something, they change something, and then they feel it's better or it's worse. And it's not because it's better or worse, it's because you sort of have a placebo effect when you're changing this. But all it comes down to, if you have good aim, you can aim with the worst mouse, the worst crosshair, the worst anything. If you have good aim, you have good aim. So try not to focus about anything like that. Focus about, where am I fucking up? Where do I need to go? What's my weaknesses? How do I prove at this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you feel like I play better with or without X setting, then just turn it off and don't think about it. That's the biggest thing. Don't think about it.
Okay.
Think about the skill. Okay.
Speaking of which, I diffed you with a femboy crosshair on Mew Dodge for Rika.
Shut up. Okay, thank you for your question, Shada. Appreciate your time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, let's see if R has what's up, R? How are you? Is your mic working?
Hello.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah.
How are you?
Good. My question is about CS2 and AIM from that game. Okay.
And you what?
AIM from that game.
Aim what?
From that game, CS2.
It's a dead game?
Uh,
What? So I don't really understand you, my bad.
Okay. My question is about AIM in CS2.
Okay, aim in CS2, yeah.
I wonder, can you aim just in one motion directly into head without micro correction?
No.
Okay, that's a good question. Well, it's not that simple. It's a really good question. Usually very high skilled players can do that from time to time, but it is not something that most people are consistently able to do with every single flick. If you watch somebody like Scream, he moves very cleanly to the enemy's head. But 95% of people, they flick and then they do another flick, but they do this flick really fast. So they micro adjust really fast so it looks like they're doing it in one flick. And if you slow down their footage, it will show that they're doing two small flicks. Does that make sense?
Even Scream do this?
Yeah, everybody adjusts, yeah, but better players adjust quicker.
Like I have an example. Like it looks like one motion because they're flicking and then slowing down, and so it looks like one.
Yes. Does that make sense? Or,
Yeah, but
or are you still
basically
confused?
the answer is no, dude. Because in general, like, no matter how good you are, you're not gonna always hit first shot accuracy. Like, even at the best you can get, you're
Not
gonna
even
be
Maddie
like
can do that shit.
70%. Yeah, no one can, dude.
Yeah.
There's too much
It's-
randomness. Like, you can't flick from
Unless
point
the-
A to point B every single time.
Can
100%.
you also flick from point A to point B in a straight line?
Yeah,
If you wanna-
that's
if
how
you-
you should be.
if you want to practice that, I would recommend a lot of pokeball and doing something called smooth pathing. If you're a beginner, if you're not a beginner, don't do smooth pathing. If you know what that is.
300 hours in AIM Labs beginning or intermediate?
It depends on how your aim looks. If you play something like
Not
my
on the
STS
hours.
benchmarks, yeah, because I have people that have 5,000 hours in Kovacs and they're still at that beginner level. So think more about how many mistakes you're doing. If you're doing 1,000 mistakes, but you have 1,000 hours, you're still at that beginner stage. Does that make sense?
You know Voltatic
Yeah.
training benchmarks.
Yeah.
I have Accident or Immortal on every.
Well, which?
Oh, like
What
the
benchmarks?
Game Labs Valorant benchmarks?
Yeah, Valorant benchmarks.
Oh, somebody else knows if that's good or not. I don't play their benchmarks.
I've never played them.
Okay. Thank you. No question.
Wait.
Okay.
Also, gotta know something, dude. So for the straight line thing, try not to. This is very common. I think if you've seen Matty too, he talked about it. Don't like make it smooth. Like try to be intentionally smooth. Try to flick, like actually flick, genuinely flick. It will do a straight line automatically if you flick. Like actually flick. You know,
Okay.
don't try to like drag your mouse from point A to point B. Just flick from A to B.
I'm
It will
gonna be
smooth.
real. If the targets are large enough, I think you can flick once and be very accurate, because I've done that like very consistently on Call of Duty for
Yeah.
a couple of videos, like a bunch of videos
Well,
I've made.
I think he's talking about like CS. Like a CS head is way smaller than like a CS.
Yeah, I know. I'm just like giving an example. Like
Yeah.
if the target, like if they're right in front of you, like if they're like kissing distance, then it's over. Like you can definitely like one flick.
Yeah. Well, I
And hit 'em.
appreciate your time. R, did you have any other questions?
No.
Okay.
Thank you for.
Someone's gonna troll you for BK. His name's serious
Th-
question.
Dude, you don't let me say
Serious
you didn't let
question.
me say bye to him, bro.
Wait. Do not drag anyone in yet. Someone asked me a question in the chat. Says, "Yo, Williker, any
Paladins
tips for
aiming.
paladins?" Yeah. I'm going to be super real with you right now. And I'm sorry if this is really mean, but if you can't aim in paladins, you suck. Like the hitboxes in that game are massive. Like you can you can miss. Okay, like you can miss like a mile away and still hit them. But
Damn. I never played it, so I wouldn't know.
honestly, dude, it's I wish I cared enough to open the game to show you, but like I like it's good tip is I would say just try to be super smooth. Like be as smooth as possible.
I think what my friend is trying to tell you is consider taking your talents to Roblox.
No, work on fundamentals. That's what they're trying to say. Work on easier stuff because you need it.
That too.
Okay, we're gonna drag and drop serious question in here. Say what serious question he has. What's up? Why? Again?
I have an actual serious question.
Mhm.
What are some good PUBG Kovac scenarios?
Well, that's actually a good question. Unironically, because I know you have good fundamentals also. Why? That's why I say this to you. Trust me on this. This helped me a lot. And you're just gonna have to trust me. I have a playlist called Something with Recoil, and that has heavy PUBG recoil, and that is so fucking sick. That helped me so fucking much.
In your GitHub?
Yeah. Because
called recoil
PUBG has
smoothing.
super high recoil, right? And it's a whole art. It's a whole art. Just aiming with, because aiming without any recoil, even though that recoil is minuscule, is completely different. Because your mouse movement is also moving down at the same time it's moving to the side. So, and in Kovacs is just side or up or down, right?
The recoil smoothing? Is that it?
It's called maybe.
It's called 4BK space dash space recoil smoothing. Or space recoil
that's a lot of
space
keyboard.
smoothing.
This one?
Yeah, that one's goated. That one's goated.
Oh.
Do you see how your tracking skill? I know Y has good tracking skill, right, or better than most people, and you can see instantly how his tracking is taken down a lot. Of course, it's his first time playing recoil scenarios, but it's just as an example.
All right.
All
right,
you're gonna have to describe that game a little bit better, other
mean,
than shoot balls.
I mean, PUBG is also like pretty. The way I would play PUBG is not like I would play COD. It's almost like a mix between COD and something like CS Valorant, because it's a lot of initial shot. Like the guy who hits the first shot usually wins the duel. That helps as well.
I thought he was saying nah to me. I was like, bro, can you describe the game better? And he just said nah. And I was like, geez, all right.
Okay, well, we're going to move on. Why?
All right.
Thanks for the question.
Thank you.
Kisses. Talk to you later.
Yo.
Okay, let's drag in this guy. What's up? Oh, how are you?
Yo, I'm good.
How's your day?
Great. How's yours?
It's going good. It's going good. A little bit tired. What's your question for us today?
I picked up Valorant probably like 2 months ago.
That's your first mistake, yeah.
Yeah, it really is. But I wanted some like good movement clicking scenarios for Valorant. If you have any?
Definitely Val testing.
Okay.
Okay. Passu dodge click is fucking goated. Passu dodge click, I would recommend the easy version if you're a beginner. You have something called
scenarios.
You have something called man wing gallery. Super good. You have something called UV. It was called something UV micros with Val movement or something like that. UV with Val movement. You can search. You have a mayor's strafe click or something like that. It's in my STS benchmark. Those are like four or five really good ones. If you want, I could write them down in chat for you. You can screenshot.
No, it's fine.
It's fine. Okay.
I think I can get the only one. The UV Val movement. That's the only one I don't know how to spell.
Okay.
It's just
well, typically use there's so many good ones, but it all depends on. I would recommend getting better movement tracking before getting better movement clicking, but use them in combination maybe. It all depends on how your aim is, obviously. I don't know, but I'm just saying general shit. But
okay. What would be a good movement tracking then?
If you're a beginner,
so many.
for it?
Hold on.
Yeah, there's so many. It's why it's so hard.
I wouldn't say, I don't know. I mean, compared to y'all, I'm probably a beginner. I'm like for the VT benchmarks, I've hit some Jade scores and some Diamond. So.
Okay. I would say that's
good.
What kind of movement scenarios are you looking for? Because I have some where the bots jump.
I mean, just whatever you think would be good for Valorant.
Play something like that. Keep it simple. Keep it simple, boys.
No, I'm talking about like the tracking ones.
Play close LS dodge. Close LS dodge easy, really good. Amphi 1v1, really good. Close mid AD LFS, something like that, really good. Quake LG, really good. XY tracking hard, really good. Anything passive dodge is really good.
Do AD duck tappy strafes dodge.
No.
That one's fantastic. Yeah, you
don't give him anything too hard. You need if you're just getting into movement tracking, spam the basics and the very easy scenarios. Like I played close LS easy dodge super long time, and that's the scenario I felt helped way more than any other movement scenario.
Okay. All right.
What I would recommend you do is go into static, go into Kovacs, change it to clicking, then dynamic, and search dodge, and you'll have like a bunch of them that you just try out.
Sleep.
Okay, It's like the filters.
Exactly like the filters, yeah.
What's your rank on Voltaic?
Wait, chill out.
Like Jade.
Wait, I thought he's GM, dude.
Oh, wait.
His scores are insane.
No. I have Master's Clicky.
Okay, what were you saying, my friend?
Oh, nothing. I thought he was asking me, but no.
No, don't worry. Well, did you have anything else to add, or do you have another question, or that's it?
Is there? I guess the only other thing, is there any dynamic, just like non-moving you would add for Valorant? Just a dynamic scenario.
It's so many, and obviously depends on your needs. What I would recommend is I could link you a good playlist. I don't have the fucking
Yeah,
code
that'd be fine.
I don't have the code on me, but it was some. Wait, I'll open up Kovacs and I'll give you the code, and the chat can also have the code, because this is a pretty good one that everybody can be useful for. But essentially, you have to realize that there's 2 or 3 types of dynamic clicking scenarios, and there's ones that move in like a straight line, which sort of force you to track a little bit and then click.
Yeah.
And then there's ones that force you to flick and then do a little micro adjustment. And then there's the third type, which is more evasive, where it's also similar to that flick and then do a little bit of micro, but it's more of an evasive pattern, so it's harder. It's more like quicker movements, essentially. And those are you sort of want to include all three styles.
Okay.
Here is, I'm gonna link it here in the chat, in the secret chat. What's your name in the thing in Discord?
One cap.
Huh?
It's one cap. My name?
One cat?
One cap.
One Thomas?
No, one cap. Like cap as in like a cap for a bottle. One cap.
You didn't show. I'll link it in the one. Oh, there we go. I tagged you with it, and I'll send it to everybody on this chat as well, so the live stream can also get a part of it. It's a very good playlist. It has a bunch of dynamic scenarios that you'll surely find useful.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.
Hello?
Oh, he's back.
Yes.
Oh, perfect.
What's up? How are you, I?
What happened to you?
Oh, hey, how's it going, guys?
What's up, I? How are you?
I'm pretty good. Sorry, I just had 2 quick questions.
Yeah.
So for me, like, I have like almost 500 hours in Kovacs, and I'm like diamond to jadish. My jade is only in tracking, right? But my my static is like almost like barely touching platinum. Like it is platinum, but just barely, right? So I was wondering if I should focus more on static and bring that up in order to get my tracking up as well, because I feel like I'm grinding tracking and it's not going up anymore. So I'm not sure if
you should make sure everything is like even.
Okay.
To some extent, right? Here's the thing. Plat. I don't play the benchmarks. I don't remember their names. Plat is lower than Jade, right?
Yeah, it goes platinum, diamond, and jade.
Okay, so you're lower in tracking. That's what you're telling me.
No, in static.
You're lower in static than in tracking.
Yeah.
And you play Valorant.
No, I only play Apex.
You only play Apex. Oh, okay. I thought you were a Valorant player. Well, then that's fine, because you're actively using that skill a lot more in game, right? So it's kind of fine. But ideally, yes, you want everything at the same level, because everything sort of mixes together. I talk about this if you've watched my videos. It's sort of like, where does your first shot land, and that's really gonna affect like your 1 to 3, 1 to 5 first bullets. So it is very important. First shot accuracy, but I would overall say that if I was you, I would do something like 70 to 60% focused on Apex, and then the rest could be on your weaknesses or on clicking or stuff like that. But you could just do something like I don't know if you play 1 hour, do like 20 minutes of pure static, and then the rest is like Apex or something, or 20 minutes of target switching or something like this, depending on how long you play.
Okay, so basically just get my static up, essentially. Because it is definitely much more weaker than my tracking is. I suppose that'll help in Apex as well. For first shot
And
Yes.
static will help
But-
you in Apex because you can flick faster to a person and start tracking.
Yes. But it's also like what you have to think about it like this. It's not only just spamming static, it's also what helps get my static to be better. And that's also pokeball and target switching and dynamic and everything. So you sort of have to play everything, but it's worthwhile to play, to hyper focus, since you have slightly less time on one field a week. So let's say first week, you set it up like this. First week, I'm going to have 60% Apex and 40% static. And then the second week is like 20% static, 20% target switching, and then 60% Apex or something like this, you know? So you include target switching and pokeball as you get better and better and more advanced.
Okay. And thanks for that. And the other question I had is for Apex, there's a lot of movement tracking happening, right? So I have a bad habit of sometimes slowing my sense down in order to have a better time tracking, right? And I was wondering if I should do the opposite and go really fast sense and like try to get comfortable being uncomfortable, essentially trying to do some movement tracking.
Okay, so were you here when we talked a little bit more about sense?
I don't think so.
Okay, so typically, if you're, let's say, over flicking or you're under flicking, increasing your sense you'll still have under flicking or over flicking issues. Sense is not a solution to most of your issues. What you want to do is, okay, I struggle with movement tracking. I struggle, let's say, with the reactive part of tracking, which is very evident in Apex, right? Then that's what you need to attack, the reactive. You don't need to attack, oh, I'm under tracking, that's why I need to raise my sense, or oh, I'm doing this, I need to lower my sense. Sort of forget about sensitivity and changing sensitivity every scenario and focus on what am I doing wrong and how do I fix this wrong, and then just get to work, to be honest. Because often, you can ask yourself this: if you change a sense, do you see long-term or short-term benefits? Is it good at the beginning and then bad, or bad at the beginning and then good?
Okay, yeah, that's a fair point. Like I think it's, I guess it depends on like what I'm doing. If I'm tracking, like slower sense feels pretty good for me. But at the same time, the movement suffers, right? So.
Well, sorry to interrupt you. Are you focused on getting better in Kovacs or in game?
In game.
Okay, so
but
don't.
At the same time, I kind of want to get my benchmarks up as well, just for like a peace of mind type of thing. But
yeah,
I generally mostly just play Apex. That's it.
Yeah. So focus on. This is how I explain it. Let's say you're lowering your sense in Kovacs for tracking scores. Let's say in game, you most likely won't do that. You'll probably stay with whatever sense you're doing. Especially you won't change sensitivities mid gunfight, right? So the idea is really to, how do you explain this? Changing your sense might be useful in Kovacs, but not in game, because you're not actually changing sense actively in game. You're just playing with one sense. That's what I try to mean. Sorry, my brain is slow after all this talking, but do you understand kind of what I'm getting at?
Yeah, I think I got it.
So focus on how do I get better in game, and take Kovacs or benchmarks as a secondary option. So if you don't see results switching sensitivities in game, then you shouldn't switch sensitivities in Kovacs either. Is that sort of...
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But if that's the case, do I keep the same sense across like Kovacs and Apex?
Do you see short-term or long-term benefit from switching sense?
I guess it would be short term.
You see, so you switch sense, it feels good, and then it feels worse again.
Yeah, basically.
Then don't switch sense. That's the simplest question. Don't switch. Don't even think about sense then, because that's called placebo, really. When it's this short-term benefit, usually it is.
Okay. Cool.
That we talked about this. Another guy called Y. He was in here, and he learns when he switches his sensitivity, he feels really bad, and then he feels really good because he's learning that sense. But if you feel good and then bad, then that's a sign that you're feeling this placebo effect at the beginning, and then that effect disappears, and now you'll want to switch sense again.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think
Of course. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so sorry. Generally, with like what I'm doing, when I'm trying to switch stance in Apex, I just play. Have you heard of R5?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah,
yes.
Yeah, so whenever I want to change my sense, I just go on R5 and I play like 30 minutes of a different sense and see how I'm doing, and then based on my performance, I would keep that sense or change it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, experiment. You've experimented now with changing sense a lot. Experiment with not touching it, no matter if you do good or bad or whatever. Everything is about experimentation at the end of the day as well.
All right, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, thanks. That's the only two questions I had.
No problem, my friend. Have a good day.
All right, you too. See ya.
Frag says he has a question.
Yeah, Frag, did you have a question?
Yeah, so what would you say to people who are training, but some of their scores in certain tasks are actively going lower?
Good question.
Oh, I would love to hear this.
Something affecting you, Will?
Yeah.
There's a multitude of possible factors, right? So I like to give everyone every single possibility, but that doesn't mean that every single possibility applies to you, right? The number one thing is identifying if do you learn better from playing the scenario more or playing the scenario less? So do you learn from playing the scenario 5 times or 1 time only? If you could answer that.
Probably 5 times, because I'll notice I'll still hit high scores randomly throughout playing.
Okay. If you forget a little bit about high scores and think about how you feel after the scenario is completed. Does that make sense? Do you feel better, or do you feel, when you play 5 times, do you feel like, oh shit, yeah, I can feel myself being snappier or quicker or something like that? Or does it feel the same?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, that's a good sign that your theory is correct, that you play 5 times is probably better. That would be a sense of, okay, we should probably move towards more of the spamming scenarios 5 to 10 times, maybe even, instead of playing a scenario 1 time or 2 times or even 3 times maybe. Because maybe it's not about the scenarios going down. Maybe it's about you not giving yourself enough time to learn the scenario, essentially. Secondly, does that make sense, by the way?
So you're saying to replay it?
If you feel like it's going better 5 or 10 times, then play 5 to 10 times, not 1 to 2 times or 3 times.
And then if it's going worse, I should be playing it more.
No. Because you told me you feel like the scenario is better when you play it 5 times instead of 1 time.
Yeah.
So most likely your brain learns quicker by repeating the same scenario over and over again, and not.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
You're not learning from variety. You're learning from the scenario, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so less variety, more spammy stuff. Exactly. Secondly is, do you struggle with fatigue? And fatigue doesn't mean like your muscles are sore or stuff like this, maybe not even your brain. It's basically, I play Kovacs and then I jump into game and I play worse.
From just jumping to Kovacs on the game, I don't think I do all the time. But I do know just playing the game, I definitely do burn out. And I become worse later throughout the day.
So what I want you to do is to play less Kovacs. Try playing, if you're doing an hour, correct?
Yeah.
Do 30 minutes. See how that goes. Or if 30 minutes is too much, do 15 minutes. See how it goes, and then jump into game.
In 30-minute increments from the playlist that you gave me, or?
No, just play 30-minute, like in total, play 30 minutes of Kovacs. Does that make sense?
Okay. So because I'm on a 4-week plan for you. Do you want me to do like half the playlist because the playlist is an hour long?
Yeah, message me and we'll talk about details and we'll talk about that. But generally, like if you're playing 1 hour, half it to 30 minutes. And if you're playing 30 minutes and you feel like you still perform worse, try 15 minutes or stuff like that. It could be a thing as well. And also if you're doing like, sometimes we're doing worse at the scenario because we're not, I don't think this is an issue you struggle with, but it could be, is that we haven't yet properly developed the assisting skills required. So for example, an assisting skill to static would be pokeball. So you haven't developed, hypothetically again, pokeball enough to consistently get good scores and maybe, as you said, maybe even burn out a little bit on this scenario, but that's unknown at this point.
Okay.
Does that make sense, or did you have another question? Or does anybody else want to chime in? Does anybody else have any comment?
Nah, I'm burned out, man.
Thank you for joining, Frag. Well, message me and we'll discuss more shit, okay?
Yeah, for sure. I appreciate the answering of the questions.
No worries, my friend. You have a good day.
You too. Bye.
Bye.
My day's not about to be good. I just hopped on Valorant.
Oh no, you fucked up, Cut.
I played Val testing for like 20 minutes, so I'm ready. Gotta hop in a deathmatch.
Well,
wait, I have an NA account. Let's play, Wilker.
We're gonna be closing the stream down now. Thanks everybody for joining. I am burnt out as fuck. I'm gonna go work out. I hope you guys learned something. AIM coaching will be closed soon, so if you want to get it now. This VOD will also be uploaded to my channel. So yeah, enjoy the rest of your day, boys. I hope you learned something. Peace. It should be uploaded tomorrow, by the way. Peace, boys.